That's a bit loud.
Anyway, hello everyone, Floyd be back here. Anyway, I'm talking to D and 13s, and I thought I would bring up what as the recent thing that have been going on that have been annoying me. So let's not talk about what Tim's been doing. Let's talk instead about the fact that G-Man's threatened to quit, to tap out, and then he did a rap video about I don't know about Eve and everybody else.
Has he? Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
He's also challenged Eve to a debate.
I thought he wanted nothing more to do with AC. Oh no, he's just not joining their hangouts.
I don't know. All I do know is that it's apparently Eve is that he wants to challenge Eve about morality.
Okay.
I don't know why, but again, that's for G-Man.
Before he challenges somebody else to a debate on morality, he might want to get some.
No comment.
I don't know. The thing is that I would never do a moral debate, because here's why. I do believe in objective. There are things of objective morals, but they're still siphoned through a subjective source, which is us.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, you know, one's minds might think, like for example, if murder was always wrong, then executions would be wrong as well. And there's still a few American states that do them.
Mm.
I mean, even in this country, you can kill people for treason, but again, it's not been enacted in the last, I think, 30 years. Maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know there was a. Damn it. So that had nothing to do with. Damn it, that's not going to work neither. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't puzzle and talk at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. Seeing as I'm working on spreadsheets and talking at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure that
Really annoying.
a lot of these people are really worth. I heard an excellent term today. Argumentainment.
I don't know. I mean, I could probably do a argument-esque video. I've actually thought about doing it because on my old channel I used to do like question videos, but I thought about doing that again. Just one because I used to do like one when it was like my anniversary.
Uh-huh.
It's got the way to the dinosaur. I thought about doing it again. So I thought about doing that to people and see what the reaction would be. So,
Yeah.
Again, it depends really. I mean, I might see if people ask me questions. I don't know. I'll have to see. Well, it's better than what's going on at the moment with again Ronnie's left now. A true empiricism. He's on his channel. Basis examined again. So he's all got Jason Burns videos up now. I mean, the thing is that it's that now to represent Christianity, who do we have? We have Tim doing his stuff that he keeps on doing, which I keep on telling to his face that he should stop. Like I've told him before that again his presuppositional stuff of well atheists know that God exists doesn't really work in the real world. I mean to be honest with you, I mean I honestly think that if he knows that atheists know that God exists, then he should go to the James Randi what's it education.
Oh yeah.
$1 million because that's got proof of sex.
You can't win anything for pretending that other people believe shit based on a book.
Well, no, it's the interpretation of a book. I interpret it badly.
Yeah, I know. That whole section is interpreted badly. Hell, you know it too.
Well, I know it. I know it's too badly.
And I can say that you know this because we've discussed it as opposed to me asserting something as if it's true.
Well,
Yeah.
you know my position on it. I know your position on it.
Oh yeah, and the way I know your position is asking you.
Not presuming to tell you.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm going to do the thing next week of I'm going to do a Bible study of Paul, starting from Romans to all the way to maybe I'm going to say like maybe Hebrews. There are arguments that isn't a Pauline, but we'll get into that.
Paul never impressed me, frankly.
That don't impress
There's
me.
reasons to it. It's because that certain individuals, not mentioning any names at all, use him as justification for their views.
Stupidity?
And,
I said for their stupidity?
not their stupidity, but like for their homophobia, for their sexism, for their views on non-believers, for their views of other sects of Christianity, for their views of the world in general, for their views in.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said stupidity. Yeah, that covers all that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I want to do it, is that people could go and watch it at their leisure and make up their own minds about it. And the sort of person who thinks that
Make up their own minds? Is that not heresy?
I mean, like,
I'm cheating.
no, because I think that I don't believe that God is the sort of thing that I was going to say sort of person, but it's the sort of thing that wants us to be stupid. Just call me heretical if you want me to hold that position, but I don't. I don't think that God wants a bunch of automatons who all believe the same thing. It just doesn't occur to me to be right. But hey, what do I know?
Well, yeah, clearly. I mean, that's not the view other people hold, therefore it must be wrong.
But yeah, therefore I'm not a real Christian.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like, God Almighty, it's just like, stop it. And cause to be honest, I lost it on the last human hangout I was in. It was somebody's hangout when they said, "You're not a real Christian." And just people like JD and other people like that were there, and I just basically said, "Right, the thing is that if you actually heard me argue with certain people, you'd be under no illusions that I am." Because again, but the thing is that I don't do it the way that you do. I don't make myself out to be an idiot when I do it. That I try to argue with them as respectfully as possible.
Yeah. It is a
Whereas
bit.
you get all emotionally driven about it, you get proper furious about it when somebody presents you with a question or with a point. I don't. I try and avoid myself of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I'm surely I've got anger issues. I'm from Manchester, and plus I'm Irish. So, well, and my lineage is Irish, so there's going to be problems there.
Yeah, well, it's kind of inevitable to some extent that people get heated about stuff, but that's not necessarily the same as being overly emotional about it as such. Bugger.
Oh.
I'm from Manchester.
There we go. Had to change your font size. Much better.
I mean, the thing is that like you look at certain believers who's just like, what sort of messed up theology do you come up?
Well, you do, yeah, I know what you mean.
I look at like certain like for Veckel, for example. But he argues against people's arguments against slavery is not to say, oh, that was a stupid society and that's not the way we should act now. It's not a common sense argument. It is literally, oh, well, you just don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not an argument, that's a statement. And it may be a justifiable statement. I don't say it's not. I'm not saying it's not really a statement that a person who's asking that question is really going to accept.
that's not going to work either.
You found what you're looking for in the puzzle yet?
Sorry?
I think you're talking to.
Yeah, you managed to get the two most distracted people in the online in here.
Again, I don't mind it because it keeps me on my toes, as they say. And plus, hopefully, with the fact that you two are here and you're much more good looking than I am, we can get some more people.
Aww.
Oh, that'd be great if we were on camera, or are you just talking about the squirrel?
Well, yeah, the squirrel's cute as well.
Crap. What am I doing? There we go. Yeah, I really am. I really am horribly distracted. I should try to be a better person, or I don't know.
Oh God, the back of my.
If I did my question video, would you answer it, or would you just not refuse to participate?
Well, what do you want to do for video-wise?
Well, basically what it is that on my old channel, I used to have a what's it called, a tradition of every year in my anniversary of making videos, of doing a question video to people about their theological positions and stuff like that. And it went fairly well. I mean, the first time I did it, I got about 1,000 views or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, Christian seems to be a weird word. It seems to mean so many different things to so many different people. And this is
really, I don't mind that.
Yeah, the thing that's kind of struck me, though, is you get all these people that are trying to insist that it means a very specific thing, and it's only their definition, and yeah, that doesn't work.
Well, I define Christian as anybody who follows the teachings of Jesus Christ. And then whatever you want to put upon that, I think is just basically unnecessary baggage.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same way that people put that, in the same way that Atheism Plus tried to put baggage onto atheism.
Oh God.
I remember. We all freaking remember that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's my point. Is that I remember the bullshit that people try to put on Christianity because they're uncomfortable with just being what it is. Because that would mean that a lot of people who don't believe would also be Christian. Because I do know a lot of unbelievers who, while they may not be into the God concept or into the biblical claims, do accept the moral teachings of Jesus. So would be Christians under that denomination.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people that consider him, a good teacher, much in the line of Buddha, what have you, that, don't buy into the very religious doctrines that, or I should say religious baggage that tends to go along with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the same people you're not a Christian, regardless of the fact that the word used to mean follower of Christ.
Yes, indeed.
Well, that's the reason why.
That's the Bible definition, so we can't.
That's why I don't use that. Again, I do think that some people aren't, and that's because of the way they act.
Yeah, but most of those people would have to be Christians by definition.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the reason I think they're not, is because they threaten people and they try to try to present themselves as on the same keel as God, and to me that's blasphemy. And then, I find that very anti.
I want to further define that, Gary.
Ben?
On the same keel as God, you're going to want to define that.
Okay, they think they can tell people that they're going to hell.
Or in other words, people that claim to be able to speak for God's will.
Yeah, basically saying, well, I know you're going to hell, or I know for a fact that you're evil, or I know that you're doing this, I know that you do that, and I know what you're doing because you want to do this. It's like, well, for all I know, God is the only person to be able to judge people. So basically, by doing all those things, you're basically putting yourself in the same place as God, ergo being a bloody blasphemer. It's not.
Yeah.
The majority of it doesn't really make much sense as far as I'm concerned.
No, I agree, but the most fundamentalist doctrine doesn't make sense to me. That's the reason I'm not.
I'd even have to take it beyond that. Let's play for a moment, if you would, Gary. Let's just stipulate that there is some kind of God thing out there, right?
Okay.
Now, how would a human be able to comprehend it well enough to claim to be able to speak for it?
If you, from the things that you see in the universe, maybe I'd say you could maybe derive its purpose or what
You
it
could derive
is.
its purpose, but could you really say what its desires are, what it would want from you, or any of this kind of stuff?
Uh, if it may be manifested in some way towards you for you, maybe.
But then you get into that whole, is this something that actually happened, or is the person delusional? Or I mean, it's a real can of worms, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean that because I understand that to some people have said that they've had personal experiences of God appearing to them or speaking to them or whatever. No, I'm not going to say when those people have had those experiences or not. I'm just saying they've obviously had something that's profound happen to them, whether it's imaginary or not. I'm just saying that they've had those experiences, and why is that not a sort of evidence? It may not be for you or something else, but to them it is.
No, I get that it's certainly evidence to them in some sense, but really what I'm saying is, I mean, we've had all these people trying to claim that they're so close with this divine whatever the heck that they can tell you exactly what it wants from you and for you and all this, and that always struck me as really presumptuous.
Saying they've obviously had something that's profound happen to them, whether it's imaginary or not. I'm just saying that they. Okay, sorry. I hate hearing my own voice. But I'd say that it depends really, because I'd say myself, I think that again, this is going to get into Answer's prayer argument, but again, this isn't a prayer argument. It's talking about my own personal perspective. So this isn't an argument. This is just what I think has happened in my life. Okay. When I started to be a Christian, I do think that God has given me the strength to overcome the things that in my life I needed to overcome, or I needed to overcome. In a way that, I'll explain it like this: I have very hard time applying myself sometimes in an academic sense. Okay. So I think that God has helped me in my life to overcome the things in my life that I need help with. However,
that's perfectly fine.
They think, oh, it's just you're just putting it upon God. And I understand that. I'm just saying that I don't think I have the strength to do that.
That's really not where I'm going with this, though. Really, okay, what I'm saying is, do you feel that you could comfortably speak for this God thing? That you could properly convey its wishes, wills, desires, etc. to other people?
I think by following Scripture, I can make how it manifested on Earth more visible to others. But in actual verbal sense, I don't think so, because I'm not very articulate sometimes.
I think it goes beyond whether one is articulate or not when you think about it, though. Because what these people are doing, these people are sitting there saying, God wants you to this, God wants you to that, God loves this, God hates that, etc. I think there's a real problem with that whole kind of mindset, in that wouldn't a person be essentially putting themselves in the place of God by making those judgments?
Possibly, I would say possibly could be, but I'd say that if you if you think that God has spoken to you and has given you divine revelation, therefore you would be in a better position to speak for that thing. For a thing called God. I mean, I'd say for a moment that person's delusional and they may be having some sort of break from reality or what have you.
Yeah, I've met a lot of people that claim that God spoke to them on a regular basis, and I'll tell you the majority of them are in psych wards.
Yeah, I understand that could be the case, but I'm saying that it's also possible that it speaks to somebody in such a way that it's real. Again, I'm not saying that whether God speaks to people or not. I'm not sure. I don't claim to know one way or the other whether it does or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that if it does, then I think it's a very troubling method of getting your message out there, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
it is with that if it was real, then and if it's important, then if you say, well, God has spoken to me, there's gonna be a large majority of people who don't take that seriously for whatever reason.
Yeah, you think there'd be more of coherent, acceptable, whatever way of it happening, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't mind saying that I'm one of the people that won't take that very seriously.
Exactly, there will be people who don't take that seriously, and for whatever reason they don't think that. Again, that's the problem I have. Is that it's possible that God does speak to people, but I think that it's hard to.
It's possible, but highly improbable, perhaps.
I say I don't know. Again, I don't. Well, if you ask me my personal opinion, I'd say if God does speak to people, He doesn't speak to them in the way in that particular way, in a verbal or audio sense. But again, that's not my personal opinion. But some other people say, "Oh, I definitely spoke to me in this sort of way," and that's perfectly fine. I'm not necessarily saying that was a false thing that is, because again, how do we know that anything we experience is not false? Because again, we all have to rely on our.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Things. We can malfunction from time to time.
Yeah, but if you're going to stipulate that you're actually basically learning something or being told something that's beyond human comprehension by something beyond human comprehension, and then you tell it, then you start claiming that it's wanting us to, love and hate certain people, I think that you're kind of talking out your ass.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, like for example, if it's telling you that we should hate black people and you happen to be a white supremacist, then yeah, I would treat that person with a little bit of a stage, should we say?
But this is what we see
If
from
it's telling you that you should try and make a better go of your life, then that's fine. I mean, me personally, I'd say if God told me to murder somebody, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, there are some people that I really do wonder that if they heard a voice, would they respond?
Well, some people will say
there are
no.
people who do say that if God told them to kill somebody, they would do it, no question.
Yeah, there are some
I
people
do find that very worrying.
Some say they do it, some say they wouldn't, others insist, well, God wouldn't say that, so it must be the devil. I mean, you get all these weird answers to that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't even know what it's like.
It just doesn't make much sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand to some people it doesn't. To me, it does. And because again, as I said, I've had God come into my life in that sort of way to help me, because to overcome stuff. But again, it's not in a physical manifestation. He's just giving me the strength to do it by looking at scripture or whatever. I'd seen the way that other people have gone through stuff in the scripture or throughout history, and seen it. Well, if they can do it, why can't I? That sort of thing. And then I think God has given me strength by seeing those examples to overcome the stuff I've got, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well enough, I suppose.
Yeah, because like, I mean, as I said, I think that could be for some people as well. Like, for example, if they're drug addicts or they're alcoholics or something, if they found God in that sort of way that I have, then maybe they have the same sort of experience in that God gives us the strength to turn down that next drink or to turn down that next high that they want or whatever, and maybe to find something different to do with that time, maybe to do craps or something on a week, on a day-to-day basis. Well, I mean, 13. Can I ask you a question? Do you?
Yeah, let me pay attention for a second. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, so,
Okay.
do you think that the word delusional is thrown around a bit too liberally in the great debate community?
The word delusional, it depends on how you mean it. If you mean it in terms of like mental health kind of delusion or self-delude, there are different potential connotations, and I think it really is a matter of how it's meant. Because there's one case in which you're talking about somebody that's literally delusional, and another one case in which you're talking about somebody that's deluding themselves or convincing themselves that something's true despite evidence or what have you, and there is a different connotation there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really a matter of what's meant by the speaker, and a lot of times people just say delusional without actually qualifying the statement.
I mean, I think everybody's deluded to some degree.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's, it's.
I'd absolutely agree with that.
Well, I don't know. I think it's used a bit too liberally. I think it's just used as rhetoric. You know, it's meant to like try and silence certain people. Well, you're wrong because you're deluded. It's just not a coherent way of dealing with discussion. I think. I mean, I do think that certain people are deluded, but I never use those terms. But I would say by dance is deluded by the way that he uses the term atheist, but again, I wouldn't say she's a deluded person. I just think that she doesn't seem to understand that. Again, she can scream it out all she wants about, it's used this way on the internet. Well, I hate to tell you this, Kate, but the internet doesn't really matter shit in the world.
True.
I mean, because I can tell you that for the people I know, that's a lot of people. None of them really know that much about the internet. You maybe know about your main thing that has like you're going into mainstream media, like the scary squirrel or the Numa Numa song, but apart from that, you don't really care. Don't know who's threatening.
True. I mean, I think saying somebody's deluded about certain, like, whatever somebody's deluded about doesn't mean that overall they're completely deluded about everything.
You have to prove that they're deluded, though. And I think that's the problem, is that the atheists who use the word deluded can't prove that Christians are deluded.
I'm not just talking about Christianity and their beliefs, I'm talking about everybody in general. I think to some degree or other, most, if not everybody, is to some degree at least a little deluded about something.
Well, possible. I'd say possibly.
Whether you look in some people look in the mirror and think they're damn sight more attractive than they are. Some people look in the mirror and think they're less attractive than they actually are. Do you know what I mean? This is what I mean when we're all delusional to some degree. There's people who obviously think they're deluded about how intelligent they are. Dunning-Kruger, I mean, I have to admit, when I was watching the Len, Tim, and whatever, that video deconversion, the word deluded did cross my mind a number of times. And because the cognitive dissonance and the mental gymnastics they were having to do was just. I mean,
Bordering on hilarious.
Yeah, actually, when my partner came in, I said, look, just listen to this and just imagine that it's actually a Radio 4 comedy show, because that's what it was like. It was like some bizarre Radio 4 comedy show.
Like Harold Pinter or something.
Yeah, or something, or even the Goons. Do you know what I mean? The Goons or Monty Python or something. But that doesn't mean I think they're deluded about everything.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, there's people who do think are comedy acts, but are actually serious. Like Court of Dusty, I thought when I first saw him, this is a satire. This is a parody of how internet atheists act.
No,
this is what he.
A parody of how Cult of Dusty acts.
Yeah.
And a lot of people went to me, oh no, it's just a character. But if it's a character, it's a terrible one.
Well, yeah, I'd agree with you there.
It'll be funny as like an Alf Garner-esque caricature of that sort of thing.
I think. Sorry, go on.
Because that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Alf Garner. It's basically the atheist version of Alf Garner.
You could have a point there, actually.
I'm trying to think of what was the what was the version that they did in America? Was it All in the Family, where it's like the same sort, where it was basically the stolen concept?
I don't know.
Archie Bunker, or whatever it's called. And I'm asking 13s because you might not know who Afghan it is.
I know.
Apparently, Ran is Archie Bunker. Well, I don't know who Archie Bunker is, so.
It's basically Afghan in American.
Oh, right, because
Yeah,
I
right.
have been told that Ran is pretty much Archie Bunker. But as I say, I've got no frame of reference. But, yeah. I think that, I mean, and as well, if I don't understand. I mean, I think when you're throwing deluded about as an insult to denigrate someone's entire personality, I think that's out of order. Unless we know that it like perhaps maybe some people out there who think they're Christ or what have you.
Oh, great.
But generally, if I used to say, well, I personally listening to that particular video, they came across to me as being deluded, but that doesn't mean to say that I think they're mentally ill.
No.
I don't think that for what, and I think, as I said, most of us to some extent are deluded about something. I don't think having a delusion or being delusional about certain aspects of your life equates to being mentally ill.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I just think that some people can use it in the wrong context. In that people could use it as a attack on somebody that they disagree with. Like, let's say, for example, let's take the great debate out of it for a second. Let's say, for example, let's say I mean, I've seen this a couple of times where somebody will call somebody from the other end of the political spectrum deluded because they hold to a social policy that person doesn't agree with. Now, to me, it isn't an argument against that other person's position. What it is rhetoric nonsense. Because no matter how deluded you are, you're not really discussing the issue. You're discussing the way that person reached that issue. Now, unless you've argued with them on that issue, how do you know whether they're deluded or not? As I said, I mean, and I would point to, let's say, for example, let's say, for example, let's talk about the way to stimulate the economy. Let's say that one person wanted to do it by raising the rate of the minimum wage by, I don't know, 12p or something. And some people wanted to do it by increasing jobs in a certain industry, let's say, for example, in the IT industry. And that was two different positions from two different political factions. You could be damn skippy that somebody along the way will use the word delusional in order to try and get the one up on somebody. Instead of what the best method is of helping to stimulate an economy. And the same thing true on YouTube is that people would much rather throw around the word delusional than actually come up with a coherent point.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I think as well, though,
delusional is usually thrown in alongside coherent points.
Yeah.
Except on the occasion you just don't want to deal with them.
I mean, yeah, for me to say, like in that particular hangout, when it sounded to me there was a lot of delusional thinking going on there. Yes, that's not an argument, but I think anyone who didn't think like them would be hard-pressed to say I was wrong there.
Well, I don't think like them, and I don't think they're delusional. I just think they're misled in their personal theology. Let's put it that way. But
wouldn't misled mean they're kind of deluded about what they're...
Well, no, I wouldn't say they're deluded. I'd say... If you have a certain mindset that says that people who don't follow the way you think are wrong, or necessarily wrong, then again that's going to permeate the rest of what you think. Well, yeah, I would agree with you that may be delusional to a sense, that maybe they delude themselves into believing something that isn't true. I wouldn't be so quick to point it around because maybe there is evidence that could be presented to them that could persuade them away from that position.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just died. Sorry, I'm distracted by the fact that I just died. It happens a lot.
I hit the side, sorry.
It's a game I was playing. I'm always dying in it.
Oh, right. I was a bit scared there. So it's like,
So is there an afterlife?
Yeah, apparently there is. You just press
How many of them are there?
You just press R and you're back to where you started.
Alright. So you're not playing Max Payne then?
No.
But 13, what would you say? Would you say that maybe that some people really deserve the label delusional?
Yeah, some certainly do.
Okay. Would you say it's all people on one side or one people on the other, or would you say it's a combination of people who hold to very extreme views on both?
I think that whether I'd state that a person's actually delusional as opposed to deluding themselves, that's a completely different kind of thing.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people that I certainly think are delusional, but these, it has nothing to do with their theology or this and that. It has to do with, there being something wrong upstairs.
Okay.
If somebody comes up to you and says, well, the devil's out to get you, or whatever, okay, fine, I think you're a little bit deluded, buddy. But at the same point, if somebody's sitting there rushing around the streets, grabbing onto people, saying, "Please help me, the devil's after me," then you're going to say, "Okay, this person's clearly delusional." You get what I mean there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when somebody's actually delusional, they're going to fixate on something. It's just a matter of what they fixate on.
Okay. I mean, because I would argue that there are some non-believers who are delusional, not just beyond, I wouldn't say not beyond doubt, but like somebody like, I know he's not around anymore, but Raoul's delusional. I would say he's very delusional.
I would agree with you there.
Worth.
I think his delusion is entirely self-inflicted, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's like one of these people who used to be in the army and that's what you teach you.
I don't know anyone who was taught that in the army, but there you go.
The Colonel Passon of atheism. Right, man, we're gonna find them by the water. No, I'm going to kind of John C. Scott.
Oh, wait a minute. By the way, you did reference Raw a moment ago, right?
Raoul.
Raoul.
Oh, okay.
Atheism defended. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you wrong. I think he's pretty. Never mind.
I don't know. Bob's followed out with me recently. Because I told him.
I don't really know what AD's deal is, quite frankly.
Oh, he's just a prick.
Yeah, that's very succinct.
But yeah, Bob's followed up with me recently, 13, for reasons I don't know.
It might be because you're dancing with the devil, my friend.
I'm also fairly convinced he only invites you into Hangout so he can mute you and then kick you out.
But he just wants to argue with me, I agree with that.
Yeah.
About theological stuff. Because he disagrees with my doctrine of... well, it's not my doctrine, but Jesus' doctrine of universal salvation. So he doesn't seem to be aware that is a doctrine in the Bible. And he's then going, oh, well, it's your personal doctrine. No, it's one that Jesus taught. It's just like... He's then going, oh, you're just twisting the Bible. And you're not. You're Giscala. I actually read it.
Yeah. I don't understand this in-house fighting of.
It's because they want it's because they want you to be the right kind of Christian, and this is why I could never live in a theocracy. Because I would be against the wall before any non-believer would be. or any big person who doesn't follow Christianity, because again, I'm not following the right kind of theism. I'm not thinking, well, what does it matter as long as I visit atheism? Then what's it matter? Oh, well, you're not right kind of Christian.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's it. You'd think they'd be at least pleased that you're a Christian, that you believe, you follow the doctrines of Jesus and you believe in the existence of God and what have you. You think that at
Yes,
least.
but it's the wrong Jesus.
Yeah, I know. This is where I just
What else
think,
is
oh,
because
goodness.
it's because I'm friends with atheists as well. Hey, Nate.
What up?
How's it going?
Hello, Nate.
How are you guys?
We're talking about how delusional you guys are.
You know, I was just about to do an experimental hangout, and I'm waiting on someone, so I saw you guys, thought I'd jump in.
Okay.
Did you paint that painting yourself, Nate?
I wish I did, but I did not.
I know, but we'll just talk about certain Christians and the way they treat other Christians. Because who was it who called you not a Christian recently?
Oh, goodness me.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Well, I actually got this new recording software. So what I thought I would do is have a hangout and use the YouTube app to play the hangout. And as we're watching the hangout, I would record it with all of us at the bottom. And kind of like Mystery Science Theater, how they'll play a really crappy movie and then they'll comment over the top of it.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be funny, so I got the perfect test subject. Last night, all of our fun Calvinist friends, like Matt 419, All for His Glory, Bible Thumping Wingnut, they were on a hangout, and I thought, it was like an hour-long hangout, but I thought I'll use about 10 or 15 minutes of this, play the clip, and just have whoever wants comment as it's going, and see how that goes.
Oh, I like it. That sounds good. Yeah, I like that idea.
I had to make sure that all the copyright and fair use stuff is all covered.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to
commentary.
Oh, that's what says something in Google Plus, didn't you? Left it.
13.
Said as long as you have commentary running, you're good to go.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what I came up with. So I want to make that abundantly clear so these people don't try to false flag stuff, because that's the last thing I need.
Yeah, I just remembered you'd left a thing on Google Plus mentioning that, didn't you? Like response.
Yeah, the problem you're going to run into if you're using actual, commercial movies or something like this is making sure that it's out of copyright. Otherwise, you can still get fucked. I have been. And it's a pain in the ass to fight it.
But yeah, Nate, I was just telling the D that I'm going to do a questions video if you want to participate.
Questions.
Well, you know what's funny?
Pardon?
How everyone, how G-Man was calling everyone not a Christian for a long time? Well,
Yeah.
now this new group, they're calling him not a real Christian.
No
It's
surprise.
like a sick cycle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Nate, because you're Ask a Christian, if I ask you questions, will you respond?
Yes.
Awesome.
But
That may be
yeah.
responses some don't like, but I will respond nonetheless.
That's fine. I mean, you can say what you want. Again, the thing is that I don't usually put muters on other people's videos. I was wondering whatever way you think is appropriate.
Now, it might not be to the same degree, but in fairness, there are also atheists who claim other people aren't true atheists.
Yeah.
So, because we're not the right type of atheists.
I don't get that anymore. Uh-huh.
Sorry?
Atheists are defended being the key example.
Yeah, I think Bionic Dance has kind of danced with that devil a bit too, hasn't she?
Yeah, I don't get that from people anymore,
Well,
though.
everything's an atheist. That doesn't not a theist.
You don't get that from anybody, did you say heathens? Is that because you're a heathen, not an atheist?
Nope, because I'm now saying I'm an atheist, so they can fuck off until they can define it to me.
Ah,
Atheist, right?
yeah.
Technically agnostic, but whatever the fuck.
Oh, all right. So I'm an agnostic, apathetic atheist.
Yeah, I'm
Apathetic agnostic.
Oh,
Sorry, Nate?
Here's the thing, though.
Oh.
Right, not an atheist definition doesn't really work, and I'll tell you why. Right, I've got friends in real life who are agnostic, who would rip your face off for calling them atheists. Verbally. I'd be I called them atheists a couple of times and went, do not call us atheists, we're agnostics.
Oh my gosh.
We just don't know. I goes, so we're atheists as well. It's like, so he says, yeah, we think that atheists and theists just as are wrong as each other. Therefore, do not call us atheists. I was like, oh god, I so want to turn hate on these people. They should. I even tried to show them some of Kit's videos about this.
Well, it's kind of definitional, though, because, I mean, the thing is, I still technically qualify as an atheist in that I don't have any God notion or God belief.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going by that strict definition, yeah, otherwise I don't really care.
Yeah, same here. Well, you also get atheists who tell Christians they're not real Christians, and Christians who tell atheists you're not really atheist, because we all know deep in our hearts that God exists, but you just choose not to believe it because you want to carry on sinning.
Oh, isn't that so obnoxious? When someone else in opposition to your belief tells you what you believe, like they somehow know better.
Yeah.
If you believe in a God, you should be stoning your children. You're an idiot.
Oh, the last time I got in an argument with somebody like that, I'm like, okay, please tell me what sin it is that I want to commit. And the only thing
Yeah, that's what I've been asking.
they could get me on is denying the existence of God. I'm like, oh, piss off.
Yeah. That's what I ask. It's like, other than perhaps going to church and believing in the existence of God and Jesus, how differently do you think I'd live my life if I was a Christian than as not a Christian?
Oh,
It's
right.
not going to change.
I've got to say something now, right? Ghostly Trees has just put up a video saying that Calvinists are like Hitler. I mean,
Who said that?
Calvinists are not like Hitler.
No, who said it?
Ghostly Trees has just put up a video.
Yeah, that's horrible. Hitler was a Catholic, not a Calvinist. Sorry.
Galaxy Dreams just put that up.
I put up a video with the title Calvinists are like Hitler.
Well, I have to say, having listened to that particular hangout,
Right, but the thing is that Calvinists aren't like Hitler. The thing is that what she's talking about are 5-point Calvinists, and certain brands of 5-point Calvinists in that. So she's talking about a minutiae over minutiae over minutiae. She's not talking about actual Calvinists. I know Calvinists who think that people like Matthew 4:19 and people like Tim, I don't represent their beliefs very well.
Like,
No.
I wish that these people just weren't so darn attacky, man. Like, I don't know. I guess that's my only point of contention. Like, I've tried a few times to talk to them, and it's like either they fall into, like, hyena-style cackling and mocking, and you just can't finish a sentence, or they go, like, ad hominem or just, like, becoming incredibly, like, belligerent and mean-spirited. I'm like, look, dude, I think you're wrong. You think I'm wrong. But
yeah.
What is wrong with you? Just stop.
Yeah.
What gets me is that these are the same people that when I sit there and try and offer, you know, a compromise, an olive branch, whatever, they're like, no, it's still my way. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm cussing today because I'm enjoying it. That and I hate spreadsheets.
Because you're a sinner. It's predestined you're going to sin that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Yep, I'm going to sin by trying to do the right thing in all times and to pride myself on honesty.
Well, the thing is that like, I don't think the atheists are sinners, so that's the thing. That's probably why they call doctrine disagreement is between me and someone like Tim. Is that I don't think that atheists just want to sin. I think that atheists have just as much moral knowledge in their arsenal as we do.
I mean, like I say, I mean, I don't know anything about Calvinism other than there's this thing called tulip and certain people going to heaven, and that's, you know, I don't. But all I can say is, having listened to their video, I just thought, so you might as well just be born, sit around and do nothing, and see if you get to heaven or not when you die. I mean, that's almost the impression they gave to me. It's like,
I could never look at that flower the same way again because of tulip.
No, but it's the 5 points of Calvinism. I don't think is that 5-point Calvinism is a type of Calvinism. It's not all types of Calvinism, but it's a point of it.
Whatever their beliefs are, whether they're Calvinists or not, or a type of Calvinist or a Jiminy Cricket, whatever they are, whatever their personal beliefs are, they left me feeling like, what is the, because I've often heard, and I don't know if they're the particular Christians that have said, what's the point of your life if you don't believe in God? I don't know. Some Christians say that. And listening to that, I just thought, you make it sound like there's just no point. If everything's predestined, God controls everything. We're just like God's little robots or whatever, autonomous. It's like, well, you might as well just be born. Just sit around and wait to die and see if you're one of the chosen ones. I mean, that is literally, maybe they probably didn't mean it like that. I don't know, but that's how it came across.
Well, they actually did too, because they believe in predestination.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, that makes it all so pointless.
Well, there seems to be a double standard, because the way I perceive them is exactly how you said. I mean, maybe we were amping it up a little bit, but basically it's like, if God chooses you, it doesn't matter. You're going to heaven kicking and screaming. If God rejects you, you're screwed, bro. So that really is that he controls every single molecule in existence. You might as well just sit around. Except then the double standard is they also feel the need to go out and proselytize and do all this stuff. I'm like, look, if you really believe this, now why are you trying to do something that it seems like you're wanting to change or affect something that you can't?
But yeah, that's where I got puzzled, because
maybe some of the unbelievers are the elect, and their purpose is to wake up those elect. I've heard stupid crap like that online.
But if that's the case, they could just sit in a chair and then magically start floating to the person they're supposed to meet, because God would be puppeteering them.
Yeah.
Because I forget, somebody made a comment, and Matthew responded saying, you need to repent or you're going to hell. And I just thought, hang on, you just told us in this hangout that it's all predestined, so we don't need to repent. Well, it kind of left me thinking, okay, so as far as you're concerned, because I mean the odds of me becoming a Christian is pretty low. The odds of me becoming that type of Christian is
lower still.
As believable as I find God to be. It could happen, but it's highly improbable. Well, so I could just go out and just commit any crime I want now. Might as well. What difference is it going to make? And then I remind myself, oh yeah, because I have to live with myself, and I don't want to do horrible things to people, because I have to answer to myself and live with myself. I can't just go, I did this horrible thing, but, oh well, it's all right, I believe in Jesus, so I'm forgiven because I'm going to repent and say, sorry, Jesus. And I know I'm simplifying, and I'm sure that's not what they mean, but that's how they come across.
Well, they also, I think, it seems like a lot of them, not to pigeonhole them all, but a lot of them, it seems like they pride themselves on knowing more and being better educated. I mean, they pride themselves on this.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, whatever. But they always use this stupid word predestined. I'm like, dude, can you just say predetermined? That's what you mean to say. Like, predestined. I believe in predestination. I think God has an intended course for everyone. That's what predestination is. It's intended course or intended plan. Predetermined is what you're trying to say, where no matter what you do, it is determined that you're going to do or not do certain things. So give me back my word predestined, and you got one determined.
Yes, you're right there. And when I say they, I am talking specifically about the people who were in that hangout. I hasten to add, I'm not putting anyone else under that umbrella.
Yeah, to say the least, it bothers me. Because now I may not be of the religious sort, but there's a certain kind of reverence I give to certain sorts of notions. Mm-hmm. And one of them is the notion of the divine. Now, I see, so to speak, the spark of the divine within us without having to attribute some kind of godhead to it. I consider these very differently. Well, whenever somebody's going around trying to claim that not only that they claim that they understand the divine, but that the divine has somehow chosen them above all other people for a specific thing, I see that as at the height of arrogance.
Sanctimonious went through my head several times watching that hangout.
Wait, what hangout?
The thing is,
the deconversion one by
Oh, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what we were. Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
A small world.
I can't believe it's just sat there. The word sanctimonious just repeat. I just
It's rather infuriating. I'll agree with you. It's like I don't want to step on. I keep saying I try to avoid stepping on toes. Maybe that's exactly what I should
Sometimes
be
you
doing.
have to.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just an apologist if you don't. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
I can be good cop. You guys are all bad cops.
No, but
Yeah, that's it.
I'll take it.
I mean, the only person that people are bad cops to is people like certain individuals online, shall I say. But the thing is that to take his point, I think the problem is that I think God does choose people to be his vessel, but I don't think they necessarily through words. Let's put it that way. I think it's all the way that they act. So you get people like Gandhi, people like Martin Luther King, people like Jesus, people like people that just want to basically help people or help the world around us, basically.
Well, I think you're talking about working through people as opposed to having a very special job for that person that only they can. Now, kiss my butt.
Well, I think if these people are gonna, present themselves as a mouthpiece for God, they should, practice what they preach. I mean, if everyone, ad populum, totally understand. But if everyone you meet thinks you're a pompous, like, a-hole, then maybe you should reevaluate some things. Just saying. They could be wrong. You could totally be right. But it's worth checking into. If you're like, I'm right, I know God. If you disagree with me, you're ignorant, you're stupid, you're a worthless person, you have no choice, God may hate you, and I'm right. Then, maybe do some soul searching and evaluate some things.
Yeah.
I think that's just a good maybe word of advice.
Well, I think that the problem is that I think that they've got into their head that God has called them personally to do whatever it is they're doing online. Like I've heard like certain people online saying, "Well, I felt God has put me here to convert atheists." I mean, I've heard T-Man make that claim numerous times that he thinks that God has put him on YouTube to convert atheists.
And then he calls his channel preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gary,
Oh,
carry on.
We've all noticed the irony there.
Sorry, carry on. I didn't.
So I'm just saying that you'll notice that the opposite is true. That most of the people who watch his stuff, and because I actually made this comment to the Atheist Chef, I said that the problem is that he gets a lot more views than I do on his videos, his hangouts, whatever. He gets a lot more than I do. And the thing is that people watch him more. Like the fact is that people like the Hog Tie Champ and people like that, they don't come on my hangouts, they come on his. Well, Scott Clifton.
Well, because they're more. No, I should rephrase that. They get more entertainment from his views. I mean, I don't want to put words into people's mouths, but I'm guessing a lot of people are doing it for a combination of the drama, the lulls, the general. I don't know, but you know what I mean. It's like when they show clips of Britain's Got Talent or whatever X Factor type thing, they're always showing the really bad people. And everybody loves it. Well, not everybody, because I don't watch it myself. But, people just lap it up, don't they? Oh my God, that person thinks they can sing, and it's that same sort of thing of oh my gosh, G-Man thinks he can debate. I think it's that same sort of mentality.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know. But the thing is that people like Hog-Tie Tramp. I keep on calling him
Hog-Tie Tramp. What?
Hog-Tie Tramp.
Do not tell him I just said that.
I'm gonna have to subscribe to that channel.
I'm going to create that now.
I'm sorry. I do know who you mean. Nice.
Hog-Tie Champ. Sorry, not Tramp. That's a different thing altogether. As I said, would never come on my channel or my hangouts, but he goes on G-Man, so that's the point. Even if he's doing it for the quote unquote drama or the lulz, he's still taking what G-Man has to say seriously to a degree.
No.
I would be surprised. I mean, I don't personally. I have spoken with him. I do have some vague idea, but I don't know him well enough. But I'd be surprised if any of these people.
No, nobody takes people like G-Man. No, you can't.
Except except the people that are already in the choir.
No, I mean, because J.D. Kane debates him seriously.
No, not really.
No, it may seem that way, but it's just
Theater, man. It really is.
yeah.
Okay.
Which reminds me, me and my partner are making up our own Bible. one of the chapters is going to be called Thespians.
Oh, there's a big scandal here in Texas. There's a small town in, I can't remember if it was East or West Texas, where the mayor's wife came out as a thespian. And they ran him out of town because she was one of our thespians.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
Yeah, they didn't know the different words.
I'll have thespians, but that won't have verses. It'll have acts, and it'll be like jokes about the stage and that. But the first chapter is going to be called Marillion, because they're sort of like the next generation evolved version of Genesis, if you're into that kind of prog rock music. And it's going to start with, and on the first day the world was brown, it was muddy and squishy.
Interesting.
Yeah, no problem with that.
And we're also going to have a chapter called, we're not actually going to write this, I hasten to add, it was just some ideas, because I misheard when one of the guys from that thing we were talking about, I misheard what one of them said, and I swear he said it was from fallopians. So I'm going to have a chapter called Fallopians.
Well, some of them can't pronounce stuff. That's really.
I think it was just me mishearing it.
I've got to say, D, your namesake is the worst for pronouncing things.
Oh, yes, I know who you mean.
Dictionary 3D.
Yeah.
Or Dictionary 3D, shall I call her. Because she doesn't seem to know how to pronounce anything. Like, she can't pronounce the word adults.
She does do some really good videos about mental illness and depression, by the way.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I wish she'd just keep her videos on that, because every time she speaks about Christianity, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But it's quite. But I wish she would talk about mental illness more, because there's a lot of people who go through.
I get the impression she's working through a lot of stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah. I just wish she wasn't friends with
Raoul. Is she still? I mean, I know she kind of was, and then it looked like they were going to fall out a bit, and I don't know. I did speak with her a couple of times, but in PM, not actually. You know, I don't know. But yeah, her videos about mental illness and depression, I just, well, to the best of my knowledge, they're very good. I've not had personal experience with any serious depression.
Oh, lordy.
But yeah, they seem good. Good videos. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to derail the conversation.
I'm just reading what Len responded to you in the comments of that video.
Responded to me?
Yeah.
Which video are we on about? The conversion?
Yeah.
Let's see.
If you actually read the Bible, you can see that God foreordains and providentially causes all things, and he is preaching by Christians to call his sheep to repentance. God does not feel to me who is elect and who isn't. So whether or not Gary can repent, I do not know. But God commands me to call him to repent, so I obey God. Read your Bible. If you do not have one, I'll send it to you. I'll send you one if you send me a PM.
Wow, he's actually offering to send me a Bible.
Yeah.
But which version?
I don't know which versions you already have. Maybe he'll be able to send one that you don't.
I've undoubtedly got the wrong version.
It did tell me about the 6th one of that I have. It seems to be a. If it says me anything else, that'll be maybe the 2nd. Maybe I have those. So, yeah. So for somebody who hasn't read the Bible, I seem to have a lot of them. Led.
Sure.
Oh no, it's me that hasn't read the Bible.
Sure, turn off your XSplit. I missed this pretty squirrel fish. Come on, man.
I am. I just have to do it. It's a second.
You got to go to the top bar, and you got.
I know.
So should I actually? I wonder how much it would cost to send a Bible to the UK.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you'll probably
I don't know what part of America he's in, actually.
the fundamentalist version of the Bible. So other stuff that they really don't like come out of it.
You mean, isn't that just the King James version? Like,
No, the King James version has the stuff that they don't like in it, but they have to sort of ignore.
I mean, I do. I've got the new something of the Bible.
Well, what are the parts that they disagree with that are in the King James? The few parts where it actually says to be nice to one another?
No, they just disagree with the whole thing. Like, they disagree with the doctrine of universal salvation. They disagree with the doctrine of how to treat people. They disagree with the whole idea of, you know, that the fact that we shouldn't be dicks to people. They disagree with the whole idea of.
There's nothing in the.
The only people that Jesus was a cock to was the people who was mistreating people. Yeah, they just need to ignore those parts.
No, but you just interpret it your own way, and then you're all good. Like, I mean, I've heard Bible verses interpreted 5 different ways that mean 5 completely different things, so you can do that with the King James. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I know. It's just, but they gish gallop through the Bible. I actually tried.
Of course. They don't only gish gallop through that's how they do Bible studies. That's how they do church services, and that's how you do your Bible devotionals. You have maybe 20 different verses, all from different parts of the Bible, that are all supposed to mean the same thing. And by I say supposed to, I mean you just take for granted that they do because you're told they do, and you don't actually have to check for yourself.
I know. Well, actually, the way that I've done Bible study since I've come back to faith is nothing like that. Like, if we want to do core concepts, we'll do like the Bible passages that talk about like core concept. Like, let's say, for example, we want to tackle grace. We'll do entire, like, let's say, for example, we'll do like cross readings on it. Like, we'll go like Matthew's view of grace. We'll go to Luke's view of grace. We'll go to John's view of grace, and then we'll go to Paul's view of grace, and then like we'll see, you know, what's the difference, what the similarity is, and is there a common theme in the
Well, that's where you're doing it wrong, because there's no difference. They're all the same. You know that.
There are 4 different people.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, the fundamentalist point of view that I was brought up with. Everything
the Bible,
is.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not mocking the Bible. I'm mocking certain people's attitude.
Yeah.
I do have a copy of the Bible, but I'm pretty sure Len would tell me it was the wrong type of.
Oh, hang on a second. I want to point something out in that comment of they're all the same. That's not entirely true. There's a line in Acts which references kicking at the pricks, which only exists in the King James and the New King James. There are no pricks in Acts, apparently, in the other versions.
Yeah. I know. I'm just saying.
Really?
But yeah, it's a matter of whether it's the pricked or unpricked version. Yeah.
What? Okay.
There's a section in line where it refers to kicking at the prick. It's only in the King James and New King James.
Well, I think my Bible's the new something or other. Not the New Testament. It's a modern Bible, so it's undoubtedly
probably the new
wrong.
The new King James, or maybe the.
No, it's not King James. I know that.
American.
It's not American.
What's that new Bible types and so?
New International.
That's the one. Yeah, the New International. Which is undoubtedly the wrong type of Bible.
Well, it's like reading a story in English. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, New International, that'd be the NIV. That's more often used by Catholics, actually.
Yeah.
That's probably why my father recommended it, given he's a Catholic.
There you go.
Break open the Message.
Sorry?
Break open the Message Bible.
Break open the Message Bible.
I think
I just basically need the simple version, because...
yeah, that's it.
Excellent.
It'd be like when you do Bible study, do you gish gallop through the Bible?
Do what?
Gish gallop through the Bible.
What does that mean?
Basically, it's what they'll do. Let me just tell you.
Citing 27 different Bible references and trying to make a point without knowing what the hell they're really talking about.
We'll go to, like, for example, Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, and it'll go, and I had the gift of the prophecy, understood the mysteries, and all the knowledge, and I bestow the goods, and they won't stop at any chapter at all to discuss it. They'll just go through it like that. No sort of text, no sort of anything, no sort of discussion.
It's basically picking like eight verses from 9 books, running through them all really quickly, and going, haha, see, that proves my point, and people are still trying to look up the first reference to see what the context was.
Well, so it is. Context isn't important. It's you start with an assumption that the Bible says this, and then you find any verse that kind of sounds like it fits that.
What's your position?
Well, look at the
exactly.
hangout. Look at the hangout in question we're talking about. That's, I mean, you have a 2-hour-long example of exactly that.
Yeah, exactly. The Gish Gallop. Yeah, I don't let Gish Gallop through the Bible. I've talked to him. I've tried to tell him that that's not the way the whole textual criticism is done. Because we're heretic every time I tell him that.
Well, they'll bring up all these things, and I'll let them finish because I'm not really into talking over people. And when he's done, I'll be like, okay, the very first thing you said, let's talk about that in context. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I think I do. I'm like, context, man. Like, I don't know what else to say, and I guess there is nothing else to say. That's why I don't really engage people like that too much.
Never mind.
Have you seen that cartoon of Captain Context?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, let me find that. It's hilarious.
I've talked to him.
Captain
On a
Context.
footnote, there is a circumstance in which I do Gish Gallop, though, I'll tell you. I'll Gish Gallop my way through there in about 15 seconds flat sometimes, but it's only when dealing with free suppers. And I figure they deserve it. And now we're boring the hell out of the audience because I must read this.
I can screen share it so they can participate along. If the broadcaster wants to highlight.
It's fine. It comes up if you want. If you want, I just keep your thing up.
I'm getting a puppy.
Yep, Captain Context always having to deal with the Bible stuff.
Or is this the Bible you were talking about?
Huh?
Oh, it's a reference in the cartoon, which
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
click on.
I was gone. I just came back. So I thought maybe this was the Bible you'd mentioned earlier, Nate. But...
Captain Context. Now, if Gary clicked on him, everyone in the audience would see what we're talking about, but that's okay. Gary.
Or if you can't see this, just Google Captain Context. It's the first link.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Life of intellectual dishonesty. Never have meaningful conversation.
Well, anyway, Nate, you might appreciate this. I got in an argument with a pre-supper the other day, which of course I got to do my usual Gish Gallop of, that one line in Romans is contradicted by every other place in the Bible where it talks about people not knowing God, and then I gave my list of like 12 entries, just rapid fire. Because, tired of dealing with the nonsense. But at the same point, they're sitting there, and some of the other folks start asking him questions. And they ask him one pertaining to why is it that you don't have to wear mixed fabrics anymore? Why isn't that all this kind of stuff. And I actually in the sidebar was sitting there commenting, well, there's actually a rock solid apologetic for this. Let's see if he knows it.
I know it.
Of course he didn't. It's called Galatians, the entire fucking book.
Oh.
I know, this is one of the reasons why I want to do Paul.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is with that particular one, you don't even have to do the song and dance. Galatians itself says Jews are held to the old covenant, Gentiles to the new. You're done.
But see, the apologetic I've heard about, well, not, I wouldn't call it, I don't know, it's the whole mixed fabrics thing. The explanation I've heard is that if you have two different types of fabrics and you wash your clothes, they don't wash properly because some of the material will shrink and some of it will stretch. So you get your clothes get
Well,
Right, and
another
the shrimp and all the other. There's so many
Yeah,
things in the covenant old covenant, but
another
course-
reason you wouldn't want mixed cloth in that particular climate is because different fabrics get different mildew and rot at different rates.
Yeah.
And if you want to stop the whole bolt of fabric from getting ruined, it's better if it's a single fibre. Now we have treatments and chemicals and what have you that we put on.
Yeah, and we also we stress the material before we sew it into clothing.
Well, yeah.
So it
but ultimately we're talking about the entirety of the 613 laws. When
I know. But all I'm saying is that I've heard them pick like a single one like that and explain why it makes so much sense and why it's actually a really good thing. And
I know, but the kicker is they don't need to do that. If they'd actually read that book, they'd know Galatians talks about the difference between Jews and Gentiles in terms of what laws need to be followed.
Well, I think
There's something rock solid in there. They just never seem to go there, especially people like pre-suppers that I don't think even read the book.
yeah.
I think the issue I sometimes have with certain people, especially Bible literalists as well, and you say, well, do you wear mixed fibre? What are you wearing? Do you eat shellfish, etc., etc.? And they're like, well, no, because it's okay to do that now because it was relevant back then. I think, but you still go on about homosexuality as if it was the worst thing since Hitler. I couldn't think of a word. Sorry, I didn't mean to go to the Hitler thing. I just panicked then. But worse than what?
We'll go to Adam or something. I don't know.
And my attitude is, well, how come? Perhaps that was relevant back then because it was a small tribe. They wanted the tribe to get bigger, so they want to encourage relationships that do involve having children. So why can't that be outdated? Just like all the other things you now are saying are outdated.
Because Paul made one offhand reference that seemed to be talking about homosexuality.
Well, I just think people don't appropriate stuff appropriately. Like
Appropriately?
people, if you hand walk them through this path, you'll be like, okay, so what is sin? Sin's missing the mark. Sin's not perfect. Great. What do you need to do to have this eternal life? Believe in Jesus. Is that all? Live like Jesus. Okay, good. So what happens if you sin a bunch? Well, Jesus, he died for that, right? Oh, okay, yes. So if you go out and lie, cheat, and steal the rest of your life, did Jesus pay for that? Well, okay. So what's the only thing you can do to not have this eternal life? Well, not believe in Jesus. So if you do believe in Jesus, then what? Well, you have this eternal life. So no amount of sin has anything to do with this eternal life. It's whether or not one believes or does not follow this Christ guy.
And
okay.
That can be taken as being a little questionable as well.
Yeah,
Well,
it isn't exactly just belief. It's repentance and accepting a gift of grace, right? So it's a little different.
Right. I'm good with all that. I'm just trying to get through the short version. So yeah, what you said, like repent, be willing to live after Christ, be willing to do all this stuff. But what it doesn't say is this sin. So if you swear, or if you do some homosexual thing, or do a bunch of drugs, or whatever the common things people say are bad are, or sins, I believe they're sins. I think the book makes this clear. God says these things are sins for your own good. I don't think sin is a big problem for God. I think it is for us. I think He's God and He knows better. So if He says, hey, this is sin, stay away from this, it's not stay away from this or else. It's stay away from this. I know what's best for you. Some of these things are immediately clear why they're bad. Some of them, it may take a little more work, but the overall thing is these are for our good, coming from a God that if we believe is responsible for everything in existence, He certainly should know what He's talking about. But if you trust and follow and try to aspire to live like Christ, that's what matters in an eternal sense. So I think some people need some sort of punishment, which I think is against what the religion actually teaches. Like whenever people hear I got called not a Christian yesterday because I said I was withholding judgment on a literal hell versus like annihilation or some other view, because anyway, so someone's like, how can you say that? You're giving people a license to sin. What? Are you saying the only reason people don't like sin and do all this stuff is because they have some fear of punishment? That's like totally against everything Jesus taught. He didn't teach them.
Wait. Nate, say what's really on your mind. What are we all, 5?
It does strike a nerve, right? Because Jesus didn't tell him, you can't sin or else. He says, look, be like me. This is the best existence you can have. No fear of punishment. Just, why would you not want to live like I live? Look, this is an example. It's beneficial. It's great. It's peaceful. It's content. Not, if you tell a lie, you're in some sort of fear of hellfire for eternity. Like, that's nonsense. Whether or not there's a hell that's literal or not.
Well, isn't there a certain doctrine in certain I'm gonna say certain Baptist where the fire isn't down below, but as you come towards facing God, it burns away all it removes all your sin from you, and therefore leaves you as a sinless being that can create God. I do know that theology does exist in places. I actually find that interesting, actually.
I would just say, if you've got a fire down below, you better go to the doctors.
No, you know what I mean, the pit.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm talking, but there is a certain doctrine where the fire meets you as you come into the afterlife and burns away all the impurity from you. It's not necessarily a doctrine I believe in, by the way. I'm just saying that this is a doctrine I've heard about.
I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know. I heard a lot of different things throughout my life in the Pentecostal church, and it changed from time to time. I mean, I think at one point I heard a pastor actually say that everybody will go into the lake of fire, and that the Christians will be drawn from it after they're cleansed.
Ugh.
And so I don't know. It changes all the time. I don't even know if there's an
you're right.
official belief.
There is an alternate perspective that some people promote, which is that you basically the whole going to hell thing is a purification thing to burn off the sin before you go up, and this is linked with the notion that Jesus was down there for 3 days.
Yeah,
but if he was down there for 3 days to burn off original sin for everyone ever born, well, then we're not going to be there long at all now, are we?
I was just thinking, okay.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, and that is a very fundamentalist doctrine. So
yeah.
Again, it's not a doctrine that I believe. I don't think Nate believes that either. But I don't want to speak for you, Nate.
I'm having a real hard time. It's not the accent. It sounds muffled or something. I have a real hard time hearing what you're saying.
Because I've got my mic all the way over here, so I'll bring it closer to my mouth. Sorry.
Oh, that's better. Yeah,
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. I was just saying that you don't believe in a literal physical hell. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't want to mischaracterize your beliefs there.
I'm saying I've yet to make a judgment. I'm somewhere between that and annihilation or some other view. I would like more information before I decide. Like my beliefs in some sort of hell or eternal darkness type thing. I think there's reasonable cases to be made for multiple views. I've more leaned to the literal thing because it seems from the words of Jesus that he talks about it like it's very real. But the thing that gives me reservation is the character of Jesus and his life, how he's always rushing to the aid of people. He's always trying to help them and do things like this. So I think if you have this compassionate character, how do you reconcile that with a literal, eternal, forever thing? That doesn't work well. So yeah, I think there's the jury's still out, and I'm okay with that. That's not
Nate. I'm going to sit here and nail you to the wall for a minute, okay?
Oh,
Like it or not.
May I have another?
Would it be fair to say that the notion of eternal punishment for finite crimes does not gel with your notion of a god?
Well, you can't say that because if it is, it is. So with my notion, I would say it wouldn't make sense, or there's something more that we're missing. Is it really from all the places we get about eternal and this infinite progression? You know, maybe I crap. What was I saying? Sorry, I'm killing zombies also. But okay, I'm gonna stop killing zombies. But yeah, so about the infinite part, like I'm curious to know just how many places and what the context is of this that we get this forever and ever. Because yeah, I think there's four main views in Christianity that are pretty widely accepted. I think the most is this literal interpretation. But you know, Catholics have purgatory, which I don't really like that one, but whatever, could be. Then there's annihilation. Then there's the one where you pay for your crime and whatever. And then there's a whole bunch of other views, but these are the four main ones. And I've read this book. It's called The Four Views of Hell, and it has all these theologians and scholars like taking one of the positions and then refuting all the others. So by the time I'm done with this book, I think, you know, they all make good cases for, I mean, some are the better. I think, you know, the literal and the annihilation, I think those are the best cases. But they all make sense. And even if it is a literal hell, then yeah, is it forever? Is it our understanding of forever? So I think there's a lot more stuff I'd like to know. That being said, this is not, I mean, you know, it's somewhere on the priority list, but this is not essential to my belief in God.
Okay.
I'm just hoping one of these days I can get you to say something like, "My God is better than that."
My God's better than your God.
No.
Well,
Sorry, I'm
no,
just being silly. I'm teasing.
I don't say that. I just say that my understanding is better than the person I'm talking to usually. But it's because usually I'm talking to people like Tim, who like are people like Len, who seems to think that if when you mention the early church fathers, you're talking about people they shouldn't listen to. Oh, that person was wrong. It's like,
Look at the people that are like, "Oh, the people that don't believe they're going to be burning forever. Isn't that wonderful?" And that mentality needs to die.
but I think
because I think doesn't Bob have that mentality?
Yep.
Yep.
And
Well, I think there's still lots of things to be considered, right? Like, you know, if it is eternal, like how bad would that suck, right? Like if you didn't want to investigate this God because you think he's immoral, and then only to find out one day the reason you didn't search was based on what you had a moral qualm with, and then it's like you find some bit of information or you realize absolute truth is God and you were completely missing out on something, and you'd be like, oh, well, that sucks. So, you know, one of those things that gives me pause is, you know, if let's just say hell is literal and it's eternal, I really think that even if they're presented with empirical evidence one day when people die, my opinion, there will still be some that have a problem with this God so much that if he's standing right in front of them and they just know that everything bad they've thought about him is completely wrong, I think there'll be some people that eternally, perpetually are like, no, F you, I hate you, I don't care how good you are, and now I know that, I still hate you. And maybe they're infinitely in this other place because they want to.
I don't know about that. What I will say, though,
It has to
is
be
that
considered.
were there some kind of, you know, eternal, whatever the heck, God, whatever you want to call it, that, you know, this divine thing, the idea of it condemning people for, well, so to speak, being presented with a view of it that they consider to be garbage, I don't think perfectly just being would hold that against them.
Well, actually, not only that, but is somebody not justified in maybe disliking God for very legitimate reasons? I mean, like if we're born on this earth and we're just supposed to, I don't know, like worship him and follow him, even though we're not feeling compelled to, and then our entire afterlife for all of eternity is dictated by God, even though we didn't ask for it. Like wouldn't some people, like, if you're sort of against the concept of living eternally, like, can't you be angry at God for that?
Well, see, I just think in 3 minutes, we've already came up with a whole bunch of possibilities, and that's why I'm not too quick to point a flag and say this is it. Like in 3 minutes, we've come up with a bunch of good avenues.
Yeah.
But like 13.
My understanding always was that hell is a separation from God.
My understanding was that it was literal fire and burning and torture, but it was also separation from God, and that the separation from God part was the worst part, and that the fire wouldn't seem like all that bad.
Yeah, see, I beg to differ on that point.
I know, I do too. But
I already have a separation from God. It ain't bad
hang
for
on,
me.
hang on. It looks like he's trying to say something. He keeps opening and closing his mouth.
go ahead.
It's all right. I'm practicing patience.
That's okay, because I was going to say that...
I thought you were impersonating a bass.
Oh, you rotten swine.
I was going to say that again, I don't think that, as I said, the universal salvation model I follow is one that I think is more supportable by the scripture, but hey, that's my point of view. And I think that that they, again, when we say that certain people are going to be separated from him, it doesn't really seem in tandem with the Christ who said that men are going to come through me to the Father. You know, it doesn't really seem to mesh with that. Because the passages where he doesn't say stuff like that, he's talking about necessarily about, like, let's say, people at the time who were trying to take people away from the faith. And that's in a certain way that was hypocritical to what the things they were saying. I think necessarily he's talking about people now who just find that the faith isn't for them.
Well, I think you said something I wanted to talk about 13. You know, I think, correct me if you weren't going there, but if people have a distorted view or a bad view, wouldn't a just God know that and forgive them? Maybe that's where you're going, I thought.
Yeah,
But
pretty much.
yeah, so if someone comes across, someone who's less than the qualities of Christ, and they're this evil, nasty, mean, hateful, bigoted, whatever person, and they're like, there's hell, you better repent and keep all these laws. Jesus died, and if you don't believe that, you're going to burn. And they're like, why would I want that God? He sounds horrible. And then, they find out that God is real, and yeah, I think that's, again, a very valid point to be considered. Would a just God be like, well, you heard about Jesus, you're screwed, bro? Or would it be like, yeah, that's not how I want to be represented, that's not how it is, look, this is how I really am. And then people would be like, oh, holy crap, that guy was off base. So, I mean, these are the things that, I think a healthy bit of, reserved judgment is in order. Because we just don't know. So to take one view, typically the worst, most literal view, and push that forward as a reason for opposing this God or putting off searching for this God, I think that's ill-advised. I think we need to realize there's a plethora of all these variables and things like that. Like, I was just watching Cosmos from last night, 2 nights ago, whenever, and Neil deGrasse Tyson said, what was it? Humanity, you can't with certainty predict the course of humanity because there's too many variables. It seems like the same thing is with religion. Like, there's only a limited amount of resources and narrative we have from millennia ago. So I feel like to really come up with anything besides like this core doctrine that's repeated like hundreds of times, God, Jesus, believe him, repent, follow him, live like him. Like that's echoed over and over and over in a way you almost can't mess that part up. But when you get too much farther away from that, we have much less information, we have much less narratives. So there's literally a God-sized X factor. And I think a healthy dose of judgment reservation is in order when we get beyond this core message, just for reasons like that. So if it's good enough for science and Neil deGrasse Tyson, it should be good enough for potential God believers or God opposers, or Christians alike, to keep in mind. There's a lot we just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with the particular type of, the you're going to go to hell kind of Bible literalist, raw ran type Christians, I think what I find disturbing is that...
The light?
No, what I find disturbing is that if I'm going to believe in a God, I'd like to believe in a God that was more moral than I am. And their God doesn't seem very raw. I mean, I honestly wouldn't even wish Pol Pot, Hitler, Stalin, you name any of them. I wouldn't wish any of those to be in hell. The hell that they describe, the eternal burning. There's nobody on earth that I wish would go to hell, or I think deserves to go to hell.
Well, they believe that...
Now, if there is a heaven, they better not get a better house than me up there. But you know what I mean?
But they believe that unless you hold to their specific doctrine, okay, that basically God's going to reject you. And
Oh, I know that.
when you're an atheist, when you call yourself a Christian, when you're a Muslim, Hindu, it doesn't matter. That basically you're going to burn forever. And I'm with you. I find that view rather
Yeah.
worrying.
I mean, I just think your God will, even if I spend the rest of my life doing good works, or take someone else who's already spent most of their life doing good work. Not that I spent my life doing bad works, I hasten to add. But you take someone who spent all their life doing good works, etc., but doesn't believe in Jesus, they're going to go to hell along with Hitler. Well, maybe Hitler, because Hitler did believe in Jesus. May have believed in Jesus, I beg your pardon. It's kind of like, hang on, I wouldn't even condemn these dictators who've done mass genocide to hell, let alone someone who just didn't believe in my son. So
that, and I don't know how many of these horrible, evil people from history were mentally sound. Like, I mean, how do we know that they didn't have severe mental problems that caused them to do horrible things?
Say
How do
that
we
about
know
some of the authors of the Bible as well.
Well, yeah.
Yes, but
yes, that's what you mean there, Sean. Yeah.
I'd say to that, Shad, that doesn't excuse it. Just because they're mentally ill doesn't excuse any bad behaviour they did. There's tons of mentally ill people who don't do those bad things. I don't think it's just...
If that's how their brain was wired, especially if it's all destined.
Like if you have, if you're a psychopath and you literally have no ability for compassion or empathy, like how can a person like that be expected to care what happens to other people? I don't know.
Well, as well, their political views, I assume, must have been so strong that they thought they were doing good. They thought, Pol Pot probably thought that, yes, we really must get back to farming and kill people who wear glasses. No, I'm sure, simplified, I'm sure Stalin genuinely thought that he was, coming up with some utopia and that he was doing the right thing. I'm sure Hitler, well, I say I'm sure, I assume these people, they could have just been sociopaths who wanted to kill people for the lols. I don't know.
Even when we know we're doing something wrong, we're really good at justifying it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Hang on a second. What I was going to say on the sidebar, what I mentioned on the sidebar, and what I was going to say is that what frustrates me is the people that insist they know in terms of these God notions and what have you. But even when you go to these notions of the sociopath, all these people with these severe problems, well, in theory, they were made to be that way, so why would they be judged for a way in which they were made to behave? This is confusing to me.
Yeah, if they're predestined as a...
Well, you got to remember that if the Calvinists, they believe in predestination. That God has chosen you to go to hell.
Yeah, but Calvinists are stupid.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
The Calvinists that are
stupid.
interpreted by...
They just don't know they just don't understand Calvin's writings. That's all.
Well, there's absolutely no reason for us to exist if Calvinism is true. Like if we're all predestined, God could just hit fast forward and get it over with. Like there's no reason.
It requires you to exist in order that God can judge you on your behaviour.
But God made us behave the way He made us behave.
If you're predestined, it doesn't matter.
This is. I mean, whether this is what those guys meant in that video, that's what came across to me, is life is completely pointless. Just be born and wait to see if you go to hell or heaven when you die.
Yeah.
Well, no, because
and everything you do is just because you're an autonomous being that God's
but you don't
pulling the strings on.
Everything is it's determinist. It's always determined if you're becoming a believer or not. So, in their point of view, the reason they argue is to get you towards a point where God is going to pick you to be one of His elect. But not necessarily this is a coherent belief. I'm just saying that this is what they do believe.
But it's predestined, so why should they even bother?
Because they believe that by arguing with you, you're getting close to being an elect.
But by arguing with me, they put me further and further away. I talk to Nate, and I feel like, do you know what? I might start going back to Quaker meetings. I talk to them, and I just say, "Oh, I fucking hate Christians." I don't actually think that is right, but you know what I mean. It's like, God, God, I don't want anything to do with it. And I know they don't represent all Christians. In fact, I know they are the minority in my
'cause when
personal
was it, Dee?
experience.
When
But
was
it's
it
just
that,
that. Uh,
you were talking to Christian, or were you talking to me about the faith? About the faith, right? And then somebody came in and totally ruined what we were talking about. I can't remember who or when it was. I think it might have been Brad Raw or something like that.
oh, probably ran.
Yeah, because we were talking about it when you were you were asking us questions about the faith, and I was
It was
asking.
IG, yeah.
Yeah.
IG was talking about spiritual stuff and what have you, and I was like, yeah, I'm really getting into this because I'm a hippie. No, and I was not what I was about to convert there or then. I don't, I'm not, but yeah. And then Rand
You were
came
more
in, and it was
interested than
just
you were
like,
before.
ugh, back away.
And then all
Okay,
of a
bye,
sudden,
God.
somebody came in with like 512s, and you're just like, yeah, not interested anymore. Like,
Yeah,
and Christian was proper pissed off with that. I remember.
I'm not surprised because at the risk of sounding like a hippie, if I was to become a Christian, or not become a Christian, maybe it would just be more accepting towards certain philosophies. It'd be more a spiritual, hippie, trippy, tree-hugging Jesus that I'd go towards. Not this petty, jealous, mean, nasty,
Oh,
immoral
my wife's
God.
Jesus then. The first
Yeah. I mean, if I did,
line figuratively,
yeah. I mean, if I felt the urge to pick a religion, I would either go with Wiccan or Quaker.
It's
I'd
because
probably more likely, I'd probably more likely go to be a Quaker because it's like you have to learn stuff
I'm a
in
quick
Wicca.
man in my teens.
Yeah, but I'd probably do that because like there's a lot more to learn in Wicca than there is in going to Quaker meetings, and I'm lazy. Sorry?
We've got tea and biscuits. Is that a place? If that appeals?
Oh,
to
I know. I've been to. I used to live in a Quaker meeting house. My dad used to be the not guardian,
the leader.
caretaker. Yeah, he sort of lived above it and was the caretaker and looked up. He was also working full time because he was always nursed all his life. But yeah, he was looking after the gardens and.
That's cool, Dee. My dad was the janitor at our church for many years.
Ah.
Hopefully paid him.
I spent a lot of Saturdays there cleaning.
I don't know if my dad was. Well, we lived above there. I don't know if it was rent free. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Sometimes free if you just give them a shout out or you help it out when they need to.
Well, yeah, as I say, the flat was above the meeting house, and we certainly, he cleaned up and he took care of the garden. The garden was quite nice, actually, quite a big garden, biggest garden we ever had. She looked after the garden and stuff like this. But yeah, well, I used to go to meetings. And then that's another one of the most, I don't know if wonderful, one of the most meditative, for want of a better term, moments in my life was many years ago. It was not long after my mother had died, and I went to see my father, and it was I think it was around Easter time, and I went to church with him. It must have been a Catholic church because he went to get communion. And it was just I don't know, it's difficult to explain, but it was just a beautiful, peaceful moment in my life. I have an atrocious memory, but I can still now, just talking about it, I'm getting a sensation of almost like meditating. It's kind of like just, I don't know, it's difficult to explain.
Oh, maybe you're alive.
And it's, so and then, and the moments like that, the moments when I've talking to IG, the moments when I used to go to the Quaker meetings, that moment in that church with my father, it was just a nice service, the atmosphere, everything about it was just lovely. And then ran, raw, but Bobby's raw, Bible thinking wingnut, Bible thinking.
Bible thinking. That's not a about that.
But all these people, and I just. Do you know what I mean? It's
yes.
Talking to Nate's really lovely too. But I listen to Nate and I just think.
Yes, it's Bible. It's Bible thinking walnut. Yes.
Bible thinking walnut.
Well, you do know that 13 that has to be a soccer account now by somebody.
Oh
Nah.
dear. Yeah.
Because I mean, to be honest, he actually likes. I mean, because the thing is that Tim's got a great sense of humour because he likes the side 10 atheist depiction of him as the Bible hunting footface.
I don't believe it. I think that's his way of getting the guy to stop doing it.
Oh my god, what a name. My gosh.
Yeah, he uses a picture of that. He actually even says himself he likes it. He told me like.
Oh.
Because I think Tim's got a sense of humour about himself.
I don't know.
I've got a sense of humour about me. If people want to do parodies of me, I don't
Well, you'd
mind.
have to, really. Sorry, Gary.
You know what, Gary? You have to have a sense of humor to have a friend like Dee.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, cheers, thank you, dear. Anyway, I was actually getting to like you, and I know you started insulting me.
If I don't insult you in a joking manner, that's probably when you want. If I insult you in a non-joking manner, I probably mean it. If I don't insult you at all, you could perhaps have some concerns.
Okay.
There are some people who aren't even worthy of insulting.
Well, the thing is that I keep being told, oh, the way you do things doesn't help people. I think, well, it does sometimes because again, I've had people say, well, I'm one of the more reasonable Christians to talk to, and as such, I get treated with a modicum of more respect, than some others.
Oh no, I totally agree with you. And I would say Nate's falling into that category too, or falls into that category. You know, but then they'll tell you that that's because you're not true Christians and you're more like atheists than Christians. So.
Yeah, I mean, Nate. I have to say though, I mean, Nate's great. Then he says the devil, and my brain goes squick.
What?
I said I'll be sitting around thinking, wow, Nate's a great guy. Then he will say something about Satan or the devil, and my brain goes squick. And then I start thinking, you know, all the cheesy horror films, and thinking, dude, come on.
I mean, in fairness, it's not just religion. When people start yumping on dogmatically about something, whether it's about religion, whether it's about how to bring up your children, whether it's about how to cook roast potatoes, if you start yapping at me in a dogmatic manner, I'm just like, psh, not interested.
Wait a minute. Roast potatoes, let's not bring them into it.
Well, if you tell me nicely, the best way to cook roast potatoes, I'll listen. You know, but if you start ordering me or demanding that this is the way you must cook potatoes, I'm like, oh, just get stuffed. I mean, that's the other thing that puzzles me with certain people who say, we're telling you this out of love, we're telling you this for your own sake. Hell exists. I think, well, could you please tell me in a more loving, caring manner and tone of voice then, please?
What do you mean? I'm speaking in a very loving, caring manner, and you're going to hell!
It's kind of like, yeah, well, repent or you're going to... I don't know, it's like that certain people just have this real... I don't know, it's almost vitriolic tone about it, and I just think that's not the love... And I do understand that if you genuinely believe that non-believers will go to hell, I can understand if that's what you truly believe, why you would be concerned about non-believers and want to try and convert them. I just don't understand why you'd say it very nastily and unpleasantly.
You know, sometimes I don't, and I can't speak for everyone, but I know that a lot of them believe that when they're talking to non-believers that they're actually talking to demons or Satan or some sort of evil spirit.
Well, certainly
Well, hey, on that note, I gotta run. It's time to get dinner stuff ready, but it's nice chatting with all you demons. So I'll catch you guys later.
Take care, Nate.
Bye.
Yeah, some of them definitely think we're possessed. Well, they've said so, and I assume they believe what they say.
Well, not even possession, but I mean, they think they're up against a real evil force, you know?
Yeah.
And it's scary to them, so... might explain why some of them get pretty confrontational. I don't know.
Mm. But yeah, sometimes their tone of voice is, and I don't. It's the thing, isn't it? It becomes this sort of catch-22 is not quite the right term I'm looking for, but I'm tired and let's go to bed soon. There are some people that the minute they come into the hangout, you can feel. I can certainly feel my own hackles going up.
Yeah.
I can feel the hackles of other people, and it's like, yeah, I know that's wrong. I know that's judgmental, because they might actually be coming in for a friendly chat, not to preach at me in this vile manner. But it's like, well, my only experience of you is this, it's like, and it's just like that. I know there's more than it's like, oh, you hate us because we're Christians. A, I don't hate you, but B, you're right, I don't like you. It's got nothing to do with the fact that you're a Christian. I don't like certain people because of their personality. There are atheists I don't like. There are theists of, well, I say all denominations. I haven't met people of all denominations. Do you know what I mean? There are atheists I like. There are atheists I dislike. There are atheists I love. There are Christians I dislike. There are Christians I like. There are Christians I love. There is a lot of people, the majority of people in the entire world that I've never met, I have no feelings either way, regardless of what denomination they are. Do you know, it's like, no, I don't like you because you're horrible.
I know, that's the thing, is that, like, Loran would say, well, you don't like me because I'm a Christian there. But then, in the next breath, he'd call you a witch or something.
Oh, yeah, he was obsessed because my thingy name used to be Demon Witch, didn't it?
Yeah, you call yourself Demon Witch there. I had to explain to him it was just a random name.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, she's got herself a witch because she hates Claire Cartman, bro. But no, Rand, that's not why she called herself Demon Witch. Actually, she talked about changing her name because of that.
Oh, no, well, I was going to change my name because I thought it was a silly name. But I actually took longer to change it because he kept saying, it's like, I'm not going to talk to you unless you change your name. I thought, right, in that case, I won't change my name. Because I don't want you to talk
You have a problem with women questioning the faith. I do know that. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really bother me, but yeah.
Sorry, I was just distracted. Apparently I have a new item in my screen.
Because I do know that Bob is certainly vitriolic towards women who talk about the faith. Like he was to that Amy Lass and a couple of people.
I did see him. He was telling somebody to get behind him and know her place in that. But then, in fairness, I'm almost positive he's treated men in a very similar fashion.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
that's speaking of like Bible. What do you call it? Bible translations or whatever from way before. Actually, the last Bible that was given to me was from my mother, and it was the Bible for women. And it was essentially just like the King James Bible, but all of the verses that were pertaining to a specific gender of women were highlighted. And then there were all these like references for each of those verses to go to other verses and all this stuff. And it was funny because reading it made me more angry than ever about how women are treated. Like, because all it did was serve to highlight how terrible the Bible is for women.
wow.
Like, it was really bizarre, actually, and I didn't even get that far, and I can't find it now, so I probably threw it out or something, but it was kind of horrible. Yeah. I mean, she meant to do that, like, in a good way, and I was like, how can I take this in a good way? I haven't read a single thing in here that makes me feel good about being a woman. You know?
It's about certain type of women are bad. I just you ain't in there.
Certain types of men are bad too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying like it's talking about, let's say, how do I say this nicely? Certain types of of like your sexually adventurous, heretical women are bad for you.
I find them extremely nice, actually.
Yeah. Do you mean tarts? Is that what you mean, Gary?
No, I don't mean tarts. I mean like,
Jam tarts.
Jezebel.
Oh, prostitutes.
No, that's what that means now. I mean Jezebel, the actual person.
What, you're talking to someone who's
The
never
bits of
actually read the Bible.
The wife of Ahab.
The
Yeah.
only reason it mattered that she was a woman is because of the heterosexual men she was
a
in.
woman.
I know, but it could have been a guy doing the exact same thing.
No, she was the wife of Ahab. That's the reason that she was a woman.
Wow.
The fact that she's
no.
the wife of Ahab is just inconsequential. She's just a bad person.
Right,
And
but
yeah,
I'm
she
just
could have been
saying.
right. But
Yeah, I'm just saying it doesn't matter that she was a woman, though. It doesn't.
No, but sometimes, like, you know, the women. It's because, like, women are smarter than men.
Are you referring to unfaithfulness? What are you actually? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've not read the Bible. I find it boring. I correct myself.
Well, I like reading it, but that's just because I'm me.
So,
Yeah.
are you
I like to
referring
read
to
all-
unfaithful women?
Get out before it's too late, Gary.
No, I like to read all sorts of books. I don't read the Bible. I like to read, like, one of my favourite books of all time is Brave New World. So, there you go. I like fiction as well.
Huxley.
I like fiction, I like science, I like all sorts of stuff. It's quite interesting. To be honest, I mean, I hate this idea that, oh, well, somehow reading fiction is bad for you or can't give you a view of the real world. Yes, it can. Again,
Oh, for sure.
Brave New World has a great point about the idea of people allowing to think things. Like for example, in the Society of Brave New World, which is better than 1984, by the way, the main guy says, "Well, I believe in God, but why don't you tell the other people about this sort of thing?" Oh, well, we really don't think that's good for them, but you believe in it. Oh, well, you see, it's not like that. It's just like, what is it like then?
I read it years ago, so I can't quite remember. But I do remember reading it, and it's like most people are like horrified at the idea. And I remember reading it, thinking, "Yeah, this would make life a lot simpler. Actually, I could go for that."
It's a horrible society. The fact is that
I know, but I'm just,
there's no free will at all, and like every single thing is being controlled by something.
Yeah, but you're bred and you're given drugs that make you think you're happy in your situation. So what's?
Opposed to going to the cinema is basically a drug-induced coma-based experience.
Yeah.
What I remember in it.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't actually want to live like that, but there is a little part of me that thinks, yeah, it would make life a lot simpler if that's how we. Yeah, just give me a pill that tells me I'm happy being subservient and working as a doorman or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying anyone who works as a doorman is subservient and unhappy. I hasten to.
Yeah, but the other thing was that you don't get to choose who your
Oh no, I know
your sexual partner is. Basically, there is no agency of who you get to spend the rest of your life with. It's like somebody that is on the same social class as you. So and basically your parents and their parents sort of know each other, sort of. That is their basis of a sexual relationship. It isn't based on your comparability. It's not based upon, you know.
That's not actually uncommon in real life, to be honest. That's not actually uncommon in real life. Well, maybe not so much these days, but you don't have to go back very far in history where that's actually how we worked.
Yeah, well, that's what it's a parody of.
But yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I want to live as in Brave New World. There's just like this small part of me that thinks, yeah, if I'm just like indoctrinated as a baby, and then I'm given drugs.
Like me who have trouble forming that sort of relationship. But I mean, like, I still want some agency in my love life.
Yeah, but you'd be given a drug, so you think you're happy.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be happy. I just think I'm happy.
Well, yeah. So what's the difference in
Well,
thinking you're
maybe
happy?
that is happy. I mean, happiness is brain chemistry. So if you just alter the chemistry, you are happy.
Yeah, but I wouldn't actually be happy. I just mean.
Wait. When did you think that being happy and being in a relationship were actually doing the same thing?
Conducive.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for.
You're not happy in your relationship.
That's like the slogan they have for allowing gay marriage. Let them suffer too. You know what I mean?
Why should we be the?
That's the one, yeah. I am, of course, happy.
We can ask 13 since he's a married man. You're happy in your relationship at your 13.
Red, can I have my rib back?
No.
I think you're finding you're in a room full of married people, aren't you?
Yeah, I do not I'm a single person, so yeah. So, yeah, but the thing is that I find it hard to have that sort of relationship.
Yeah, but the whole point of the Brave New World is that you don't know that you're unhappy. You don't know any different.
Yeah, I know that, but I think it's about how that sort of society isn't really a happy one. It's just one that thinks it is.
Well, I think part of the thing is that some of us would say that happiness is meaningless without the lows. Like sometimes experiencing bad things makes you feel like you're alive, and then you contrast that with the good. So being happy all the time, maybe it just gets tedious. I don't know. I mean, if you look at any
I suppose I should
good...
rephrase that. Yeah, that the drug makes you. It makes you to not be unhappy. Not necessarily happy, smiley,
But sometimes being unhappy though isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it is at the time, but I don't know.
Yeah, oh no, I know where you're coming from.
It's
Don't
life.
get me wrong. I don't want the world to be like Brave New World.
I know.
It's just this little part of me that thinks
No, I understand that.
I want life to be exceptionally simple.
Yeah, simple's good.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like I'll tell you what I was watching the other day. I was watching the Tuesday Tussle from about a year ago, where I went on a rant about how bad some people are at altruism. I was like, yeah, I was still right about that, but again, that's a debate for another day. But the thing is that I think the point about Brave New World or any fiction is about portraying the world through a certain lens, and how we seem to invest our things in maybe material things when we shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point. But I do think that people in relationships are happier than people without. Usually.
More than likely,
Because even if the person drives you up the wall sometimes, they are the person that you can turn to when you're having a bad day or that you are having a tough time, and you can talk to them about it, and they'll be there for you.
If you're in a good relationship, I always remember a classic line. Marilyn Monroe film, The Misfits, which personally I highly recommend. I think it's a great film. I love it in many ways. But she goes to Reno because that's where you could get divorced easily back in the day. And she goes to she's going into the courthouse, and her husband turns up and is kind of like, I don't want a divorce. And the line she comes out with, because basically I think he's a salesman or something, and even though they were married, she felt lonely, she felt alone, she wasn't happy. And the line she just came out with was, if I'm going to be lonely, I'd rather be alone to do it. And I just thought, that sums up unhappy marriages to the T. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be lonely, it's better to be alone to do it. Because being lonely with somebody is just... ugh.
Yeah. I think, too, the other thing is that when you say relationship, that doesn't necessarily mean a marriage. You could have, a really good close friend that could be that person, too.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is marriage material,
Yeah, I think we overemphasize.
I mean, I'm at the age now where I should be getting married. But it's a bit obvious to get married around the age I am at the moment. And to be honest with you, there are people in my personal life who, I mean, like, one of my mates is married. One of my mates is in a long-term... Actually, both of my mates are in long-term relationships. I'm the only one who isn't. And I think the problem is that I'm very immature for somebody of my age.
Well, Gary, I think you're probably correct me if I'm wrong, but you might almost be at the age where it's about time for you to be getting divorced. So maybe you're just missing out on the first bad marriage, and you're going to do it right the first time.
Okay. I mean, I understand that. I'm just saying that I am. I mean,
I know.
People keeps saying to me, "Are you going to get married yet?" And, no, Mum, I'm not even seeing anybody. Oh, have you not found any nice ladies? No, Mum.
Have you found any bad ladies?
Shut it,
Jezebels.
Nice ladies are a myth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd want a nice lady anyway. You want one that's kind of,
Boring.
A lady on the
It's a classic.
That's the word.
What's the classic? An angel in the kitchen and a devil in the bedroom.
A lady in the street. Yeah.
Wait a
But
minute.
yeah,
I'm wondering.
I think that some people, it's like, I think that the relationships are overemphasized in today's society, and I feel for people who aren't particularly that interested in having a relationship, because some people aren't, to be honest, or certainly having a long-term permanent relationship, and I just feel like, yeah, maybe it's the norm in inverted commas, maybe it's what the majority of people do, but it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with people who don't. And if you want a relationship, that's different. It's kind of like, I don't like the way society in general has this, oh, why aren't you with somebody? It's like...
Have you tried online dating, Gary?
Yeah. Well, that was my last relationship, and I'm not trying it again.
There you go. Why? But today's shit in your bed or
No,
something?
it was just my fault. I wasn't ready for it.
No, but you don't...
Just make a really good friend you can sleep with, then marry him.
Yeah, take that.
Because I wasn't ready for it yet, and I think that was the problem. Is that she was and I wasn't. And I think that's the whole thing. Is that maturity. I don't know. I just don't. I think I've got too much baggage, and I don't think I really bring that much. So and I think that once I conquer that, I'll be ready for one. I think that's the problem.
I mean, yeah, it's foolish to hurry things, especially in that particular area, because, like Shah says, if you hurry things, you'll end up in a bad marriage and be ready for divorce.
Yeah.
Well, not that. I mean, you don't have to. Even not hurrying things, you can end up in that situation.
Of course, yeah.
But you're more likely to.
Yeah, I'm the last person to be given relationship advice.
You're married?
What?
Happily, are you happily married or something?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
Well, there you go. Then you're the perfect person to give advice.
Okay. Here's my advice. Number one, be me. You know what I mean? I can't give you advice. I don't know anything about you. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's horses for courses, man. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Or you're going to become a reclusive pervert or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Go out, go do stuff. Man. I don't know. Help me here. Help me.
Well, at the moment, my social calendar my social calendar can't really be that full because of the weird hours of work.
Yeah, that one. Anyhow, I've got to go to bed because
No, it's fine.
I didn't get much sleep last night. So take care, darlings.
See you later, Jay.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'll invite Jade because she's actually online for a change.
Jade's single, is he? Hold the joke.
We'll see. We'll try and get Jade in. If she actually comes, is another thing.
So where is Brian? Who's Brian going to visit in America?
America.
Yeah, no. Who's he going to visit? Is he going to see some YouTube?
13s, Fizz, Agent of Doubt. Who else lives in California? Who lives where is he gone? I'm not really sure. I know he's going to see 13s. He said to me he was.
You know, there's other people in Texas that are not part of our inner circle as well.
Amra.
Yep. Concordance.
Yeah. But I don't think they know who Brian is really. Not any disrespect to him. I just don't think they know.
Oh, people that know who Brian is. Well, no.
I was just wondering who he was going to America to visit, because it's obviously if he's going for 2 months, he's not going there just to see the sights. I would guess on his
Well, he's
own.
going to go see South Fork.
South Park.
South Fork.
I know.
That's where they used to film Dallas.
Yeah.
Actually, talking of Americas, I'm hopefully going to Ontario.
Okay.
How long are you going for?
Maybe about 3 days or something.
Oh.
So,
What?
so you're just going to a very specific area in Toronto.
No, I'm going to Malcolm. Because I'm visiting
Where?
Firefly. But I know that you live-ish close to Ontario.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I mean, you live in Calgary, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, wrong side, kind of.
way far.
Yeah.
It's like a 30-hour drive, or you could get here by a plane, I guess, for about $350. But
I've
Yeah,
got to China.
the Canadians I know just don't have enough of the Canadian accent.
No, Ozzy has got a stronger Canadian accent. He does say a and a boot a lot when I talk to it.
No, I think I'd need actual like French Canadian to get the proper Canadian accent that I'd need. I'm working on a project.
And Rick does say a and a boot a lot as well. I've noticed. The thing is that I know my Cuban that I know apart from Jason Burns. Oh, Jade's coming in a minute.
Who is?
Jade.
Oh, Jade. Okay. That's okay. She's welcome.
No, I was going to invite G-Man, but I thought that might bring the conversation down a bit.
Never ever seen a G-Man video.
Finally.
No, but he's a good guy when he's not performing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the problem is lately when is he not performing? That seemed like real anger over the whole Galaxy thing.
Well, she was one of his friends, from what I understand.
She should. It's not like he can't be friends with her now that she doesn't believe the same shit he does. What an ass.
Well, some people that he can't associate with atheists, and
Yes,
as
what assholes.
you can't associate with atheists. Like, for example, he's friends with what's the name? Lee Lemon is the name.
Yeah.
And some people are arrogant assholes no matter how they believe.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. I mean, I get criticism because I hang around with atheists online. But I don't understand that. I hang around with atheists in real life, and I don't get that criticism. So I'm thinking, well, my friends are atheists in real life.
Well, once again, we go back to the asshole syndrome.
Oh, hey, Jade.
Yeah, some of my best friends are atheists, yeah.
Yeah, my friends are atheists, yeah, and again, it doesn't bother me. For the same reason that my friends online are atheists, it doesn't bother me.
I don't hate atheists, but
I don't hate anyone.
I do.
Anyway, hey, Jade, anyway.
Turkey cat.
Well, she's muted at the moment. I don't know if she's been muted.
Yeah, I was muted. No, it wasn't boob muted. Although that does happen. Ah!
Are you being attacked by your headset?
I opened a bottle of sparkling water that was a little bit shaken up.
It's sprayed over you.
I had a bath, whether I needed it or not.
Now, should I make the wet t-shirt joke, or should I prompt Red to?
Either one of you, because that's what's wet. Trust me.
I was going to go highbrow for the James Bond joke.
Oh. Hang on a minute. Oh. Yeah, definitely. I definitely win a wet t-shirt contest. For the over 50 crowd, anyway. Holy crap.
Hey! Gary, I just got more interesting.
You missed the hang-up. Did you see the Raw hang-up from just Bible thumping?
I saw the Bible thumping. I saw part of it. I had to turn it off because, frankly, it was disgusted.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I mean, oh, great. So you guys have had a hangout to basically tell Galaxy Dream she was never really a Christian. I mean, that's what I got from it.
Pretty much.
And you know what? One of the things I find appalling about this attitude, there's a lot of things I find appalling about it, but one of the things I find appalling about it is, you know, how do they know she simply isn't going through a crisis of faith, that she's being beset by doubts, and that she will come back and be a Christian? They don't know that, but when they come out with this kind of crap, all that does is push people away. You know, if she watches that hangout and she was thinking, well, you know, I'm working things out in my brain, and oh fuck, I was never a Christian. Why go further?
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of the thing is, I mean, there, in my perception, there was this moment of, I'm not really sure what my view necessarily is. I just know I don't accept this interpretation. But then you see all these people acting this way, and just attacking her. It's like, yeah, where's that person going to end up? Don't be a dick.
See, actually, and I had a conversation, like a bit of a back and forth in the comments section with someone, and eventually the final thing that they said was, you obviously didn't convert, otherwise you would still be. Why do you keep asking these questions? You cannot deconvert if you were saved. Right? So basically, I think that's the answer. So I replied back, okay, I get it. So the only way to know for sure if you were saved is if you never deconvert. That's the only way you can know, essentially,
Right.
because if you think you know, like if God reveals it to me and I know that I'm saved, just like they know they're saved, then I'm good, right? But if I deconvert, then obviously I was wrong. So that's the only measure of truth in that.
Well, I'm guessing you missed my commentary on the issue for the last couple days, which is that apparently, according to these people, you should never listen to somebody that claims to be Christian because they might not be.
Yeah,
right.
I heard that, and I agree. I agree with you. That makes total sense.
I mean, if somebody is 98 years old and they're on their deathbed and they look up at their loved ones and say, you know, this God business was all a load of crap. Why did I fall for it? So they spent 98 years as a Christian, probably 90, or 80 some as an adult, conscious, making a conscious choice. But because of that last thing, they were never a Christian. I mean, it's absurd.
You can't hear Red right now because she's giggling under her breath, but she just commented that she thought that was hilarious.
Well, the thing is, Jade, is that I wanted to go on Bible Hangout to talk about this because I could talk about deconversion and reconversion because I had it. Okay, so I thought, all right, I've got a unique perspective that these people don't have, in my opinion, because I don't think they've necessarily had lost their faith. But no, I got told the Hangout was for adults. And I said,
well, what were they doing in there then?
I don't know.
Were they holding the places for till the adults got there?
They never did.
I'm just shocked that they managed to be even more insulting than usual.
This was both Tim and both Tim and Len said to me, "Oh well, we're not talking about chronologically." And I said, "Len, you always tell me that I'm an adulterer, a heretic, and a lot of other things, but and I find that rather funny." And he said, "Oh well, I just disagree with your interpretation. Well, you know nothing about the Bible, Gary." I said, "No, I rather read the Bible for what it says rather than what I think it says, like you do." I gish galloped through it. He went, "Oh, you're just a heretic, and you should look at this and that." And he's now promised to send Dee a Bible because she's defended me.
I'm sure Dee knows if she doesn't have a Bible, she knows where to get one. Her dad is Catholic. I'm sure she could get a Bible very easily.
No, that's not the Bible according to these wingnuts.
No, that's true.
Well, even if she wants the King James version, I've actually got about 3 versions of it. If she wants a copy of that,
Only 3.
I have something like 12 different variations of the Bible in English.
You might be close to Red's collection right now. Granted, we did give away a bunch recently.
Now these are different. These are different ones, No two are alike. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Have you got one with Barnabas in it? Do you have a Barnabas one?
Yes.
I probably.
And my problem is that I now start getting books confused as to which books belong to which Bible.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Someone will reference something and I'm like, wait, that's not canon.
That one, you have the pseudepigrapha and the apocrypha and
The Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch of that stuff on Kindle too.
Is that not a bit like saying I hate Harry Potter, but I've got all these books? That's what it sounds like to me. Like, I don't read the Bible, I don't have a Bible, and I feel pretty good for it, like, you know what I mean? But I suppose I don't have to argue with people about it, so...
You don't even need one, though, because everything's online. You can just go online and find it, especially the Bible. It's free to read anywhere. You can download it for free.
And if you have a smartphone, it's there too.
Yep.
It's
Or your
everywhere.
Kindle or whatever, yeah.
Or you can break into a hotel room and steal a Gideon like I did. Well, I didn't break into the hotel room.
You can't steal a Gideon. That's what they're supposed to be there for.
Yeah.
I know, but I think I told you about how my cousin and I stole Gideon Bibles.
Technically, if she's breaking into the hotel room to steal it, though, then maybe it's actually stealing. You know.
Well, you get breaking and entering. I don't know that it's still. I'm still not convinced it counts as stealing because the Gideons put them there so they could be taken.
Yeah.
And that's what my cousin and I thought, which is why we took them, and my parents were just laughing their heads off. Wait, you stole the Bibles? Well, we thought we were going to have them.
It's, I think, the very first page. It actually says, please, these are...
Please take this book, pretty much.
It does.
Yeah.
My dad was a Gideon.
I'll find ours to see, verify it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I listened to it and I was like thinking, right, is it me, or are they pointing fingers? And to be honest with you, I hate people pointing fingers at others. I mean, like Galaxy Trees has released a video saying that that Calvinists are close to Hitler. It's like, no, certain types of Calvinists are close to Hitler. Exactly. I like Calvinists. So people who wrote the bloody King James Bible were Calvinists. I know.
Yeah, it doesn't. But there's lots of different kinds of Calvinism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calvin Kleinism.
No joke, Calvin.
Well,
I believe the correct response to that is no. There is only one Calvinism, and it's mine, whatever that happens to be.
So, yeah.
Well, one of the other things that this is this weird. I'm not even sure how to characterize it. It's this weird, fundy thing that we are the only Christians, and Christians are always good. Because if you point to someone like Anders Breivik or somebody who's a serial killer or whatever, there's a whole bunch of people who are quick to say, well, they weren't Christians. Wait a minute. If someone was a Christian, they went to church their entire life, but they were a serial killer, or they lost their mind and went and, shot people. So you're saying because of those actions, they're not Christians, and they never were Christians. And they'll say, well, yeah, they were never Christians.
The no true Christian fallacy.
Yeah, it's this idea that they're trying to make this perfect Christian, I mean, you might as well create a robot and call it the perfect Christian, because it doesn't work that way. If you're going to... It's just stupid. That's the only way I can put it. I mean, if we could find absolute proof that Hitler... Gary already opened the door to Godwin's Law, so I'm going... If Hitler really were a Christian, if they found secret tapes showing him worshiping, and he was a Calvinist, let's say he was a Calvinist, Hitler, it would have worked. And Hitler was a Calvinist, and it shows him, secretly going to, going to church and having instruction and studying the Bible. If you suddenly found this whole cache of material, these people would still say, well, he's no Christian because of what he did.
Of course.
So it's a very creative way of defining a Christian, and as far as I can tell, it's pretty much against everything Jesus said. I mean,
if I may, there was this guy that was part of a gaming group that I used to participate in. It was one of these ventrilo things, and we played this one game and got talking with this one guy that was the Catholic. He was very Catholic. And he was sitting there saying that, well, I mean, Catholics don't do these kind. And I said to him, I said, you do realize that the majority of people in American prisons are Christian? He goes, no, they're not real Christians, though. And I just kind of rolled my eyes, and I'm like, dude, you know that's a no true Scotsman fallacy. He goes, well, that's fine because I'm not Scottish.
Oh, God, what an idiot. And the Catholic Church, by the way, does not say that.
I know.
I mean, the Pope visits prisons. And they don't say that people aren't Catholic or Christian or whatever just because they've committed a crime. They're simply a Christian who's committed a crime.
Yeah, but this guy was an idiot.
I know, it sounds like it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the kind of people I'm arguing with online half the time.
Well, again, would you not think that even if you think they're idiot, they could have a unique perspective? And
Yeah.
I try to see the good in everybody.
I know you do, Gary, and we love you for it.
Now,
Gary,
this
can I-
particular guy was trying to make the argument that all Christians are better than everyone else, basically.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
can I
That
ask you a
somehow
question?
being Christian
Gary?
just by default makes you better and more moral and all this. It's like, no, it doesn't.
Gary, can I ask you a question quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Have you killed your mum?
Have I killed my mum? No.
Yeah, because it's midnight and
Oh,
Armageddon hasn't happened yet.
For a couple of days.
All right, okay, sure. Party.
After it's about half 11, after 12 actually.
No, but don't you think it's strange that all these true Christians used to be drug addicts and alcoholics? It's like heaven's full of fucking criminals and hell's full of innocent people who just didn't believe the same God.
It does kind of strike me that way sometimes, honestly.
Well,
Yeah.
because the thing is, Hulk, is that people can reform. Just because they were criminals in one part of their life doesn't mean they're criminals now.
No, I'm just making the observation that all the people that tend to judge other people's Christianity or non-Christianity were at one point sinners, right? Whereas you can have somebody who has never sinned in their life, but if they don't follow the same God as them, they don't get into heaven. That just seems like a fucking strange way of thinking to me.
Well, that's some people's Christianity for you, Hook.
Yeah, and you know what? The other thing, right now, I don't try not to get involved in arguments of that kind, but it seems strange to me that people would be upset with idiots going online talking crap.
That
was the end of that.
Hook, I never came on online to talk about my beliefs. And I know that's going to seem impossible to you, but I never did, honestly. I came online to talk about movies. And it was only because I was like subscribed to the Amazing Atheist. I came across Vern Faggots and F 3 and all those sort of people. I thought, you know what, there's a niche for me here, and I'm needed. So, I'd be honest with you, if you watch me now, and me about, 4 years ago, there's a difference. Because I'm much more nuanced now than I was then. And I think it's a lot of things.
You guys just all turned blue.
Really?
Yeah, on my computer.
We all look nice, all right to me, but maybe.
Yeah. No, I know it's my computer. The little icons down at the bottom are okay, but whenever someone speaks or I click on them, they're blue. Blue. My computer's blue.
Anyway, James, you missed what happened in the last campaign.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't feeling well.
Oh, well, you missed it.
I hear you got killed.
Oh, I didn't just get killed. It was spectacular.
Well, if you gotta go.
Well, yeah, because basically what happened is that that guy from last time, the pirate.
Uh-huh.
Right. I decided that I was going to fuck with him.
You're such a mild-mannered Christian. You really do go at it at games.
Well, so basically what happened is that I went down to this place and I stayed in the background, and 30s let this happen. Right, they all had the same meeting we did with the different alien tribes, and then the pirate guy flew up into space and everything like that. There's a meeting, right? And during the meeting, I took a pee in a glass and put different herbs in it. Jade? Oh, you're just muted. All right.
Sorry about that. I was muted because I'm eating and I'm got some noodles and soup and I'm at the slurpy part. Didn't think you wanted to hear me slurping.
No, it's all right. And then I threw them on this guy's back, and 30s went had him say, "I want you to get a towel, and wipe them off." So I said, "Okay." So I walked off. I got on my horse and ran away. And then he burst into the meeting room saying, "We have a problem because one of the people just has been a bit of a punk and all this sort of stuff." And And he said, I want him brought before me, otherwise I'm gonna like blow up this planet and everything orbiting it. They're basically gonna do genocide in order to get to me. Which I found quite interesting. But anyway, and the guards of the other ships came down, and he blew up he blew up 3 ships. As in recompense what I did, and then the rest of the group had to draw and try and find me.
You don't do things in a small style, do you, Gary?
No, it was fun. I thought 13 thought it was fun. I actually came up with an even better way to mess with him, which is that instead of peeing in it, I would have smashed the glass on the ground and then threw him in the guy's face. How he like that? Then he'd still like to see how he would smack people about. By the way, my character's dead now, so yeah. I'm going to roll a new one.
What is this? Dungeons and Dragons or something, is it?
No, this is 13.
Oh, that was weird. Oh, sorry.
It's 13's like homebrew game. It's not really Dungeons and Dragons because I do those campaigns myself, but it's more of I think it's like a homebrewed story game that he has. It's actually quite good. I enjoy it anyway.
Okay.
I mean, dude, I'm surprised that you don't do videos against like Tim or those lot, especially when something like this comes up. Or what to do with Galaxy or whatever.
Well, I've been in Hangouts a lot. Like right now, excuse me, my time is pretty much in the garden a lot. I have lots of plants to plant, and I have lots of plants coming. So, yeah, I'm busy. I've got to build gopher cages to keep the gophers from eating the plants when I put them in the ground, and that takes a while. I've got to dig the holes and plant the plants and pull all the weeds. And, excuse me, it's a lot of work.
I've got a major vegetable patch. I prefer my plants to be eaten.
Yeah, I have some vegetables. I have some vegetable plants and some herb plants to put in, and I have more than I will need to, and I need to start some seeds too.
Yeah.
More stuff. I've got lots of different kinds of stuff, and I'm moving stuff around. I'm putting things where I didn't have them before. So this weekend I've got to go get some more plants.
We do get strawberries here in Ireland. So the back corner of my garden is all strawberries. And
oh, good.
Yeah, in the summer my daughter can just go out the back garden and just pick them off the branch and just eat them.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I put in some strawberries, and I'm putting in more strawberries. I put in some raspberries. I'm putting in more raspberries. I bought a bunch of dwarf citrus trees that I have to put in, too. I'm going to have, like, along this one driveway, I have a driveway that goes all around my house, and on one side, it's going to be, I'm going to line it with these citrus trees.
Nice.
Yeah, I already have a lemon tree, but and an orange, but yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I love citrus fruit.
Yeah, I don't have a very big garden, but at the back corners where I keep my fruit, and I've got a pear tree, I've got gooseberries, and I've got strawberries. Strawberries are actually quite ferocious in the way they move about the garden. Like, we planted maybe 2 or 3 the first year, but the third year they're growing between the paving slabs.
Oh yeah, they'll do that.
Yeah.
This year I planted some of those white ones. They're called pine berries. You heard of them? They're like supposed to taste a little bit like pineapple. I don't know. I'll find out. That's why I've got those, and I'm putting in a bunch of. I'm putting in mostly yellow raspberries, as I really like the yellow raspberries. I've got some red and purple as well. I don't put in black because I live surrounded by black raspberry fields.
Nice.
So yeah, the apple trees across the street.
Is Brian going to visit you, Jade?
No, he's not going to make it out here this time.
Well, because I said to Cher that I'm coming near her, but she's told me that it's going to be. But she said, "Oh, I don't live anywhere near where you're going."
Mm-hmm. You're nowhere close to Ontario. I'm nowhere close to Ontario.
Nope, he's in Alberta.
Yep. In fact, might even closer for you to get to Texas from Ontario.
That's a bit of a distance.
I know, but I think Texas is closer.
I don't know, but you see, I live in the UK, and our sense of scale is a bit off.
Yeah.
Because like from where I live to Newcastle, it's probably where American would go to get a burrito or something.
Well, I mean, I know people that commute like probably 150 to 200 kilometers a day, like in one direction.
Hmm.
So, yeah, commuting is definitely more of a thing here, I think.
No, we do commute. It's just in like places like London.
Yeah.
Because London's quite big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary, it's not just people from the UK who have problems with the sense of scale. People on the East Coast have problems with the sense of scale. They don't understand the West Coast. They seem to think, because they have all these little states, you understand, they don't seem to quite grasp how big California is. I've seen more than one story where someone was, like working as a journalist, and they said, "Oh, well, why don't you drive down and cover that?" And they're like, "Excuse me, I'm in San Francisco." "Well, yeah, you can just drive down to LA." Do you know how far away that is? They don't get it. They don't get it. And not only that, there are people in this country that someone says they're from New Mexico. "Oh, can you ship it? Where do you live?" "New Mexico." "I'm sorry, we don't ship to Mexico." "New Mexico, you numbnuts!" There are a lot of people that don't seem to understand that there's a state called New Mexico.
Don't worry about it.
It's just funny.
No, it's just because I'm thinking about going to Canada.
Yeah.
I was thinking about either that or going to Tennessee to go visit like Lasso and James, but Lasso and Michael, but I don't know because apparently Michael's going to move down there soon or something.
Yeah.
I was even thinking about going to California to see yourself and Jacob, because I do know that Jacob lives down there.
Yeah. Well, okay. This is where it gets interesting. Okay. So Jacob's in San Diego.
All right.
IG is in LA. I'm on the Monterey Bay, 100 miles or so south, 80 miles of San Francisco. That's a very, very, very long distance apart.
Is this British distance again? Is it?
Yeah, it's I'm like what? How many hundreds of miles am I from? I'm a Californian. It takes me 6 to 8 hours to get there. That's how I measure distance. Sorry about that.
So let's say 6 hours, 55 miles an hour. So that's roughly 300 miles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually. And then you take.
Well, James might be a fast traveler.
I take 5, and it's 70 miles an hour.
Okay, so I thought it's 55 is the speed limit.
Well, except on Highway 5. Once you get to 5, Interstate 5, it's 70 miles an hour.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's quite a long distance. I mean, it'd be a great tour of the state. You get to see the whole thing. Hello, Freddie.
Because I thought, Jade, because I mean, hopefully you're going to make it down here next year.
Yes, hopefully.
Hopefully. It's just that I just want to go to Canada because I want to meet Firefly, I want to meet Ozzy if possible, I want to meet Muskie because I know he lives sort of in the area.
Mm-hmm.
I know Headless, because Headless phoned me up because when I was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But he said to me, book it through a travel agent, it's better than booking it online. But then it's more cheaper online though, from what I've seen. It's about 600 quid, well, give or take, maybe a bit more.
Aer Lingus flies direct from Dublin to Canada now. That's quite nice.
I don't know. It'll be about an 11-hour flight or something, and I hate flying. So I don't mind paying a bit more to get a shorter flight.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm claustrophobic and I hate flying. It ain't good.
Ontario.
I mean, I don't mind going in the evening, like getting there like in the morning or something. Like going about 5 o'clock and getting there for about 4 o'clock in the morning or something, because then I could just get some breakfast somewhere.
11-hour flight. That's quite a long flight.
Yeah, but you got to remember that. I don't know why it takes that long, because it's only a bloody ocean. But I don't know.
No, but it's only 5 hours to New York.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Canada.
Yeah, I know, but
kind of-
Ontario actually is, well, it depends which part of Ontario, because it's quite...
Which-
Ontario, yeah, it's not that much further. It shouldn't be.
No, it's quite it's quite a long...
Well, the
I'm
ones
looking
I've
at it
looked
on the
at got about an hour stopover in America, in New York.
Oh, well, if you have stopovers anywhere, that makes a long flight.
Or something like that. A couple of hours stopover anyway. And I have to get another plane to go to bloody Toronto from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's even ones that takes a day. I mean, I'm being serious, an actual day. Like a day and 8 hours or something. To be on there like 36 hours. Travelling.
Yeah.
Trust me, I do not want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I go to China regularly, so I don't. Long distances is just something I do.
Well, the farthest I've been from here has been, I'd say Czech Republic, but no, Tenerife, Gran Canaria, that place like that.
Yeah.
So that's probably the longest. Yeah, if I go to Canada, this will be the furthest I've been away from the UK.
It really just depends on the situation. Like, I can handle being on a train much longer than a plane because, well, especially if you're stuck in a middle seat on a plane, and I don't know. You got no space. You can't really get up and move around all the time because they always got the seatbelt lights on because there's turbulence or they're feeding everyone and the carts are in the aisles. Like, you just don't have a lot of freedom on a plane, you know?
I don't know. I do 9-hour to 11-hour flights, and it's generally a case that you get the flight in the evening, then you have your dinner, a couple of cans of beer, then you go to sleep, then you wake up about 4 hours before the flight ends, watch a couple of movies, and you're there.
Yeah, if you can. I'm just saying, I've been on flights where it was like a zoo on the plane, and people are terrible, and they're kicking your seat, and you've got kids screaming in your face, and there's always some guy with uncontrollable gas in front of you. Like, it's just, you know, it just depends on the flight. Because the longest leg I've ever done was 14 hours, and it actually wasn't that bad.
Sure.
But I've had, like, 5-hour flights that just made me want to slip my wrists. So
I was actually on a 1-hour flight to Scotland, 2 stag nights and a hen night on board, and they couldn't land the plane because the people wouldn't get their seat. Because of the flight was actually delayed in Scotland, and they were all going to Dublin for stag nights and hen nights, and because the flight was delayed, everybody went back to the bar to drink.
Yeah.
So everybody needed a piss, and everybody was drunk, so nobody'd sit in their seats, and it had to circle a few times before it could land.
See, and I think the worst flight I was ever on was flying into India, and I think only rich Indian people fly, because they all seem to think, well, the ones that I'm talking about, this particular group that was maybe 20 of them, all seem to think that the stewardesses were their servants.
Sure.
And they would like snap and yell at them a lot, and they wouldn't listen to them at all. And these people, like, that were causing problems were sitting like cross-legged in the aisles, and they refused to go to their seats. But I think they just landed the plane, and there were still people that weren't sitting.
Yeah.
Like, I think that maybe this particular flight that happens often, and they just let it go. I don't know, but it was weird.
Well, funnily enough, I was coming from wait a minute to get it right. It was in Germany, Frankfurt to China, and there was Chinese air hostesses there and German air hostesses because it was going to China, obviously, right? And this baby was crying and stuff, and the Chinese air hostess, being used to working on a Chinese plane, was going to get up off her seat. She was plugged in, ready to go, and she was going to get up off her seat to go and help. And the German hostess basically says, "Look, if you get up, we need to stop the plane."
Oh, yeah. So different standards, different places.
Yeah, in China they quite happily run up and down the plane at different parts of the journey, you know.
Yeah, I've definitely seen stewardesses essentially like running around while the plane is landing or taking off. I've seen that.
Sure.
And actually, I've even been on a plane I was on a private plane once, and they didn't care at all what we did. They didn't they never mentioned seatbelts. They never mentioned sitting down. They never mentioned, like, you could totally have your wireless devices on the whole time. They didn't care about anything. So I think it's, I don't know, it just depends, I guess.
Sorry about that. I think we just took over the conversation for a second. Sorry, Gary.
Probably. Gary,
Yeah.
take some sleeping pills with you.
No. It's because I'm looking at like I'm actually looking at holiday. So
Oh, yeah.
sorry. I'll be a bit of host. That's fine.
So you haven't actually booked your holiday yet, Gary?
No.
No.
It's because I've only just got a job where I can afford it.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I don't really appear hangouts until about 9 o'clock anymore.
Ontario has some lovely things. What time are you planning to go? Like when? What time of
year? Hopefully sometime maybe July, August.
Ah.
Peak.
It's nice and hot then.
I know, because I think you told me that. Headless. Went hot.
Yeah, it gets quite hot and humid in that area. You might even see girls topless, maybe.
Is that a lot?
Where's this now?
Yeah, it is. In Ontario, it's legal.
Yeah, you just switch on your internet and go to www.
What? What?
I'll let you fill in the gaps. You probably know it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to Germany in August. Apparently, naturism's quite popular over there.
Yeah.
It's the bomb.
There's definitely nude beaches and stuff in Ontario. But yeah, it's certain college towns you might see topless girls on a hot day.
See.
It happens.
Go to Lanzarote if you want to see topless women, man.
Where?
Lanzarote. It's the Balearic Islands. It's Spanish. They're owned by Spain, but they're in Africa, and that's where British people go on holiday to get their kit off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently there's parts of Germany that border Poland where the Polish hate being beside Germany because they get their kit off and walk across the border in dangerous trails.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was actually in the aquatic centre, which is a swimming pool in Dublin, Ireland, where I live, and some old woman decided that she didn't need to follow the normal mores of society and got her kit off as she was having a shower in open view of everybody. I was like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's like being hungry and seeing this. No, I shouldn't say that. Yeah.
Well, I know in Ontario you're not gonna like see people walking around naked, but depending on what you do, I mean, like if you go camping, people when they're camping they'll be naked. They'll go for swims naked all the time in the lakes and stuff. Like you see that, like, just like in certain settings, you see a lot of naked people. Not like in the cities so much, but
hey,
although that happens too.
Is that before they get tasered?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Put the sweets down and keep away from the children.
It's a little more acceptable there, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. Maybe Gary will find love in Canada. You know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm still here, you know.
What? It's not a bad thing.
No, but I mean, I was supposed to. If I find love with a Canada girl, what am I supposed to do? Bring her over here?
Sure. Or you can move here.
At least you won't need a visa.
Well, because it's whatever it is, isn't it? Protector, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do.
We've got an Eskimo.
Ooh.
It's Eskimos from Alaska.
No, Canadian too. We have tons of Eskimos.
Yeah, but are they like north, like from like places like?
Oh yeah.
Like Winnipeg and places like that. See,
further north from the territories, from the Yukon and the Northwest Territories and stuff.
Well, I could go to Newfoundland to meet Rad.
Yeah.
You'll get a barbecue.
Well, because maybe I could go to his place to get right with God. As he always tells me I need to. Get right with God.
I've got to be honest, mate, right? If I was going to go on holiday, the last thing I would be doing is going to go visit people for YouTube. No offense, guys, right?
Well, I do go on holidays to visit people from YouTube because I actually like people from YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I meet up with Paul all the time. We get along like a house on fire.
In a way, though, I have to say, like, I've done a lot of traveling, and I've done it alone, and I've done it with my husband, and I've done it where, so I've done the hotels and hostels and all that stuff. Hostels are good because you meet people, so they're more interesting than a hotel. And then on top of that, if you stay with people, like if you do homestays and stuff, that is the best because those people that live there know, the best places to go and the best things to see and do, and they, maybe they even have a car, or they know which bus to get on, and so in a way, visiting people, if they've got time to spend with you while you're there, it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, but see, my worry about that is right, like. Have you ever been to somebody's house and thought to yourself, you know something, I'm just really not getting a good vibe here, I'm going to go home?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Then you go home. Right?
But see, I've stayed with a lot of strangers, and in that whole time, although maybe some were less memorable than others, in that whole time there was really only one experience where I was uncomfortable. But even so, I didn't feel like I had to leave early.
I should stipulate, I actually went to New England to go play chess with some friends for a chess website, and I went, you know what I mean, we actually went to New York, me and my wife went to New York for 10 days, and for 3 of those days we went up to Kingston. I think it's actually, I don't know if it's New England or Rhode Island, but it's Kingston anyway, and we stayed at, what was it called? Lake Valley Hotel or something, and then we went and played chess and blah 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 yada yada, and it was it was a great time, but I had my own bed, I had my own shower, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be for me, but that's because I'm too old for that now. Maybe if I was 18, 19, 20, it wouldn't bother me to go and stay wherever, whenever, as long as I had somewhere to sleep, right? But at my age, I want one shower.
Well, the other thing is, like, most of the places I stayed, they actually had, not so much in Europe. Like, in Europe, they would have one tiny bathroom, right, for the whole family, and you'd have to share that. But, especially in, like, North America, most people have, like, 2-3 bedroom houses and at least 2 bathrooms, and usually a guest room. Like, it's very common here. So, like, if you were to stay with someone in Canada, chances are you'd get your own room and your own bathroom.
Sure. I think.
So how do you arrange your house stay? Is it just through a travel agent, or would I have
one of the websites you could check out is Couchsurfing.
All right.
That's a good one that I've used a lot, like pretty extensively, because it has sort of a peer review type. Basically what happens with it is, like, if you stay with someone, you leave a review and you say, I love these people, they were great, and there's a few people on there that have some bad reviews, but for the most part they're not. But you get a better feeling for if you would be compatible with those people or not.
Okay, so do I have to pay these people, or? No,
it's free. No, it's free. Like, you'll see, like, when you look at certain people, it'll say, bring your own food or pay for your own meals or something like that. It might say.
I do that.
Yeah, exactly, like that sort of thing. But they'll specify it. Everyone we stayed with always just wanted to feed us, and so, like, sometimes we would you know, like we'd buy the wine and we'd buy a meal or something like that for them just to be nice. But for the most part, everyone was very generous. So.
Is there no expectation of reciprocation? Do you know
No,
what I mean?
none at all.
No.
The only expectation is it's not even an expectation, but yeah, like the idea is you stay with people and then people stay with you.
Yeah.
Because it's a
that's
website and you're all sharing, you know. So maybe down the road, like maybe a year or two from now, you'll host some people, you know. That's all the expectation is. But we found a lot of people that wanted to do it because they couldn't afford to travel, but they liked meeting people from different places and stuff.
Okay.
Or, you know, or because they had children, they didn't travel. They stayed home, but they wanted to expose their kids to other cultures. You know, that sort of thing. It's fun. You know, if it looks like something you might enjoy doing, go for it. No, you might not. Some people don't.
I know. It would be for me, but I'm not saying in any way it's a bad thing. It's just it would be.
Yeah. And we always had our own private room. We never actually slept on a couch. I mean, so it's called couch surfing, but it's really a lot more sophisticated than that.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, like as I said, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just having a look at a couple of things. I mean, this house thing sounds okay, but again, I don't want to stay at somebody's house and feel like a bother.
No. Yeah, it's, you know, like the other thing is you can email people and say, hey, I'm kind of interested, and you know, like, but I kind of want to get to know you better, and you can have email conversations or Skype conversations or whatever with people and get to know them first.
Okay.
They won't, you know, that's not unexpected. That's not what's the word? It's acceptable.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I mean, you want to get to know somebody before you stay with them, so to make sure that they're normal.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I mean, like I'll just be like leaving my stuff there, which will just be like me, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take my like my money with me or whatever.
Yeah.
My traveller's checks or whatever. So I can cash him anyway. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends. We stayed with some people that they wanted to, like, they kind of wanted to go and do a bunch of stuff on the weekend when they weren't working, and they had a car and they were like, come on, we'll go and we'll see this castle, and then we'll go and see this. So we went and did all this really cool stuff, and they enjoyed it too, because like it was, you know, like sightseeing. Like, I mean, sometimes you don't get, you live in a place but you don't really get to go and see some things. So it gives you a chance to get out and take other people with you. It's kind of fun.
So is your itinerary in any way controlled by whoever you're staying with? Like, you can't say, look, I fancy sitting in my boxer shorts eating Cheetos and watching. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think it's more like a cooperative thing. Like saying, like let's say Sharon and her husband were at Ollie's End to say, I'll come along and see this site with us, we're just popping out, do you want to come with us? It's not like you have to do this because you're staying with us.
Yeah, no, it's usually pretty easy going. We never had a problem.
Sure.
But you do have to be kind of easygoing, because you don't really know until you get there what the people are like. But I mean, some people are going to be a little more uptight. Some people are going to be like, some people might want to walk around the house in their boxer shorts. It could happen, but
well, this is not a female, and she's up there topless, something like that, going, oh, nude or something.
Yeah,
like that.
no, like it was never bad. Honestly, it was always good.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm just too old for it. No, maybe like, you know what I mean? I'm a bit set in my ways, like.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too. Like, there were certain people, like from the website, we'd look around, we'd be like, I really don't want to stay with them because they're like 19 and they're just gonna part. Well, actually, we did stay. Oh, that was funny. We did stay with some people in China, and like they were young, but we were like, this was China, and it's kind of a scary place to travel by yourself. And so it was our first stop in China, and we thought, like, let's stay with someone, because otherwise how are we gonna do this otherwise, you know?
Yes.
So So yeah, so we met some English-speaking people that were like working at a college or something, and they're like, yeah, come stay. I got you down for this date, for 2 nights or whatever. And we're like, cool, that sounds awesome. And we get there, and we got there right in the middle of a huge party, and like the cops were there because it was too loud, and it was just like this college party. Like it wasn't actually that bad. Like people weren't really drinking too much, but then I think there were a bunch of girls that ended up going back to bedrooms with boys. I don't even know what happened.
What?
But the other funny thing though was that a bunch of different, like it was like 3 or 4 guys living together, and more than one of them had invited couch surfing people for the same nights. So there were people sleeping on the couch that night.
Yeah.
But not us. We had a bed. But it was funny though because that was a little chaotic.
I was actually asked by a friend in China to try and find some Westerners to go and help teach English at the college.
Yeah?
Yeah, because of what do you call it? Where my wife's city is, it's not Beijing, it's not Shanghai, so it's not your normal run-of-the-mill place where people go. So apparently we'll get 10,000 renminbi, which is about somewhere around €1,000 or whatever it is in Canadian.
Yeah.
If we find people to go over for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't teach, like they teach English in school, but they don't teach it so you learn it. Like it's just sort of a we learn English in school, but they don't know any English, and you have to either be privately tutored in English or take it extensively, like in post-secondary.
Yeah, there's actually a Spanish guy that my wife knows. This guy, he's Spanish, right? And he's teaching English. And there's another guy from the West of Ireland, and he's got an accent worse than mine. You know what I mean? So he's got to teach. There's got to be Chinese people around speaking like Father Ted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We stayed with, I think, we stayed at 3 different couch surfing places in China. 2 of them were people teaching English in China. And then the third was a Chinese woman who spoke amazing English, but she had been tutored, like I think she came from a wealthy family, and she'd been tutored in English since she was a small child. And had a private tutor, like basically her parents paid someone to live with them and teach her English. So
yeah, it's actually quite interesting. The first time I went to China was like it was tourist China I went to, so it was guides and whatnot, and it was interesting. You could actually tell which part of the world the English teacher came from.
Yeah,
because I'd one that sounded like our teacher was from Texas. And she talked about like that, you know what I mean? And that's how she pronounced her words. It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
That's cool.
Sure.
And in Hong Kong, like they speak English in Hong Kong, but it's very like a British sort of English.
Oh, I loved Hong Kong. Hong Kong's the best, man, because everybody speaks English. It's like, you know what I mean? You can't get lost in Hong Kong.
No, it's awesome.
So I'm just looking at the comments of this video that was released on the 11th of May.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to say, I mean, like the video itself, the title just makes me go, but some of the comments are making me facepalm quite a lot. Right, because the way it is like, what is atheist and why are they so stupid? Is the title. Right now, that title already makes me go ugh. But then I'm reading some of the comments and it's like, why do you worship a paedophile? And it's just like, because this guy's a Muslim. It's like, already you're making me go, well then you know worse than he is. Or better, sorry. And for fuck's sake, he doesn't worship a paedophile. He follows Muhammad, who wasn't a paedophile. No.
I tend to find if you keep away from videos that make you facepalm, you have an easier life.
Yeah, but I didn't know I was going to facepalm.
I'm sure you did. I'm pretty sure you did. The subject matter and the name of the video would have made me go, no, that's just, I know that's got to be one group of idiots versus another group of idiots.
Yeah, but it means that I have to make a video in response to this, and like, and point stuff out to him, and other people who are saying stuff against him, just why? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, Jade, are you still there?
She's muted.
Is he muted again?
Yes, I'm here. I've been listening.
I'm just talking about this. Have you seen this video, Jade?
No, I haven't. I've been missing a lot of stuff because I'm. Ouch! Let me get more comfortable. Spending a lot of time outside.
There you go.
I am finally at the point where my body is adapting.
Well
'Cause, you
done,
know, if
Jade.
you, huh?
Well done, Jade, for switching the computer off and going outside.
Yeah.
Everyone should do more of
I
that.
have to work, so.
But you know, when you don't do that stuff for a while, you know, it's like I've had to put Band-Aids on because I started to get blisters, and my knees, because, you know, I've had arthritis for like 40 years now, and so my knees were very unhappy with me going outside and all that kind of stuff. I was using muscles I hadn't used in a while. So I'm finally at the point where I'm more comfortable. So, you know, that's really nice. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I love being outside. I love working in the garden. Even at the worst, even when I was in, you know, a fair amount of pain, I'm still out there struggling because I'd rather be out there.
Excellent. I've started cycling again.
You know, I actually came in a little bit early today because we had this weather forecast that said we might even get thunderstorms. So here's the funny part. So I go out there early enough to do a lot of stuff, and I'm kind of sticking with not going in the garden because I didn't know if it was going to start raining any minute. The sky just looked, you know, like it could start any minute. So I mostly sat on the front porch, and I made gopher cages, and I got some planters ready, you know, some stuff on the front porch. I'm going to put some on the steps. I've got these planters on the steps, and I'm going to put mint in each one of them, so I'll have different kinds of mint right there outside. And I've got some chocolate mint and some apple mint, and what's the other one? But, you know, that'll be cool, and mint grows like crazy. It'll kind of end up cascading down the stairs and intermingling.
I love poppadoms and mint sauce.
Oh yeah, I love mint, all kinds of mint. The ones I'm planting outside, I have mint in the yard. I have spearmint in the yard. I don't have any peppermint anymore. I don't think. I have to check. But you know, I got like sort of the fancy mints because it'd be kind of fun to have outside. And I like apple mint a lot.
Is there a lot you can cook with? Is there a lot you can do cooking? Is there a lot you can do cooking wise with mint or fragrance?
Oh yeah.
I feel like having a mojito now.
There you go. See, on you. But so I didn't go out in the yard and do too much. But then the weather got a little bit better, so I went out and I pulled some weeds because basically, you know, I had a front lawn, or I still sort of have a front lawn. I'm digging it all up.
Sure.
And putting in things that are useful.
Yeah.
So in the one part of the front lawn, that's where the raspberries and strawberries are going, and then the other part of the front lawn is going to be an herb garden, a big herb garden.
People, right, call it 1:30, so if you've got anything important to say, I'd say it now.
Okay, nope, that's about it.
Because I'm really hot and I'm really tired.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
sorry,
all
guys.
I would say is get away from your computer, go outside and
I wish I could, but like, Jade,
Definitely.
I work 4 to 8 every day.
Oh, I know. But there are some people, I swear, I turn on my computer, because I will be in and out sometimes during the day, and especially before I started, like, seriously gardening. And, you know, you turn on your computer, or actually I take the computer out with me sometimes, especially the little one. I'm keeping my old computer so I can take it out in the garden, and sometimes I listen to lectures while I'm making gopher cages and stuff. But I turn on the internet, and it's the same people on another Hangout.
Yeah.
It's like 24 hours a day, the same people in Hangouts. It's like, what else do you do? I mean, that's fine. Talking to people is wonderful, but go outside.
Yeah, it was my daughter that made me switch off my computer because I kind of realised that I'm sitting here at my computer and my wife's, what actually happened was my wife was saying, you need to do some stuff, tidy up the house or something like that. I says, okay, what do you want me to do? She says, no, don't just do something because if you see something that needs done, do it. So I'm sitting playing my computer doing my normal thing. She says, right, I need to do something. I turned around and says, what needs done? And my daughter's sitting watching television like a fucking automaton. And I'm like, oh man, what a really bad parent I am. And now I'd switch the computer off during daylight hours. I won't switch it on until she's in her bed, and I spend the day playing with her and I've got painting and snakes and ladders and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
My social life is online as well because I do my D&D stuff on there and
right.
Stuff like that. But I mean,
that's why you don't have a girlfriend.
Things like that. that's not online around me because I can't really find that. And to be honest with you, like, the thing is that I would find more social stuff to do, but by the time I finish work, it's about 8:30.
Yeah.
So by the time any sort of social stuff I'm doing, I'd be like coming straight back home again. I mean,
Go
I'm
for
going
a
out on
walk.
Friday. So,
Go for a
no, I
walk.
am going out on Friday. Fuck it. No, I am.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing social stuff with my mates and stuff like that. But apart from that, I'm not really doing anything else that's really bothering me.
Yeah.
I truly advocate switching the computer off, man, because you're basically just looking for stuff to write your head as soon as you switch it on. It's
No. I saw that video because I was subscribed to Capricious Black Box, and he's replying to it. I mean, I've got but I've basically finished with this, and then I'm going to watch some Hannibal, and then I'm going to do other stuff. I mean, the thing is that I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, Jade, I mean, like, I'm usually a rant sometimes during the day.
Right. But yeah.
I'll come on it before I go to work, but that's it.
I mean, I used to for most of my life I was on some sort of sports team or another. Or volunteering with Special Olympics and playing sports with them. So I'm used to being active. It's only been in the last few years when I had some problems with my knees that I wasn't. So I need to get back to doing that. It's actually why I bought the wheelchair. Is because now I can do stuff, and if my knee goes out, hey, I don't have to worry about it. I can take the wheelchair.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
You need to give out?
Huh?
Does your knee tend to give out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about support? Have you tried supports? Or is it?
I was going to say,
but see, what happens is
an implant.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
All right.
Yeah, and that's major surgery, and I've got 2 bad knees. Which one do I do first? So I'm doing okay. The wheelchair has actually been really great because see, I don't. The funny part of it is I don't actually move it with my arms most of the time.
Yeah.
I use my feet.
Anyway,
So I'm actually getting more exercise for my legs by using the wheelchair.
It's
also really. Huh?
Does not look like you're cheating though. It's
Isn't there knee supports now that you can get, like, mechanical ones that sort of like support your knees, so if it does give out, it'll just support it?
Oh yeah, I know, but this is.
But it's better. I mean, probably best just to like when they're bad, you stay off of them. And
right, and if something happens, and if I step wrong, see, that was the main reason I got it, because I'd go for a walk, and if like a bicyclist came by really fast and I had to move really quickly, my knee could go sideways.
Sure.
And then I would, it would hurt it just a little bit, and that wasn't the problem. Limping all the way back home was a problem because then you hurt it worse.
And then a few days later, when it started to swell up and
right. But see, what I do with the wheelchair is I walk behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if something does happen, it's more confidence. Not only that, I walk better behind it. I discovered a friend of mine said, you're walking better when you do that. You're walking straighter when you do that. And I thought, really? I guess I am. But it's always there if I need it. You know what I mean? So if I do have to move suddenly, and my knee goes, or if it just decides to hurt, the weather change decides to hurt really bad, I can always hop in the wheelchair and wheel myself back home.
Yeah, if it gets you outside, it can never be a bad thing.
No, it's not. Yeah, my friend of mine was
homeless.
Right. Yeah, right, exactly. And one of the other reasons I got it for was to go fishing.
Nice.
Because I love to fish, and the problem is if I go out I haven't been fishing for a while, but I wanted to start again. A friend wants to go with me. The thing is like getting out to the end of the pier to go fishing isn't a problem. But after being out there all day long, my knees are pretty creaky. So
have you got a bag on the side for your beer?
Yeah. Oh, well, where I actually have. I haven't bought that yet, but I've seen them. But the piers that I intend to fish at have restaurants on them with seating outside, so you can have a beer on the way home.
Oh, nice.
Jade, you might like spear fishing.
I probably would.
Like it.
Yeah.
Do you like snorkeling?
Yes.
Then you would love it.
Yeah.
You should go sometime. Go to
I should.
Roatan. Go spearfishing.
Yeah. I'd like to get a little boat.
Ah, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
I like boats. I want it to be three-way. I want you to be able to row it, to sail it, and to have a motor on it. I realize that when you do that, you have like a little dinghy. It's not perfect at any of those three things, but the point is I like all those three things. So rather than have a bunch of boats, just get a small dinghy that, sails passably well. And I mean, I'm not going to be going fast. You know what I mean? I just want something that you can catch a little breeze in and sail around out in the Monterey Bay here. And but I've got a motor so that I can get out there and if the surf is high, and I love to row.
Yeah.
But then I have a little boat to go fishing too, so I'm kind of looking for something that'll fit all three of those things.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, I'm going to call it about a couple bits. So
Okay.
It's sort of wisdom for people. Get about it.
Well, as I said, just try to get outside and away from the computer.
That one that you got. I'm surprised you haven't got the one from South Park. Yeah, where it's where's the squirrel with the hat on it?
Oh.
This is Jable. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. This one's like a gopher or something, isn't it? I don't know.
I thought it was a squirrel because you usually like squirrels.
Yeah, well, I like gophers too.
You like gophers?
Gophers in the UK you really get the squirrels.
Gophers are monsters!
Yeah, I love them.
Bill Murray tried to kill one in Caddyshack, so...
Gophers aren't that big. The only thing with gophers here is if you have horses, you don't want them to dig holes because the horses can step in them.
Can you eat them?
Yeah, you could.
Well, there you go. What's wrong with gophers?
But when I go camping in the mountains, there's gophers, and I love them. And sometimes, the one time I pitched my tent, and I realized all night long I could hear gophers under me because they were burrowed, have their little town right under my tent.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll catch all the gophers in my yard and I'll send them to you.
Ah.
You should have a farm yard full of gophers.
I garden with a slingshot.
Yeah.
We don't.
I don't know. I've never had a problem with them with gardening or anything.
Oh, they're horrible here.
Yeah, we have squirrels that will get into certain things.
Well, I have ground squirrels too. I have gophers and ground squirrels. The ground squirrels aren't as big of a problem. It's the gophers that are a royal pain in the ass.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, and that's one of the ways I find it easy to hurt myself because gophers put tunnels above tunnels.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like stepping on a piece of, you take a step, and then you go down and you go clunk because you've just fallen into a gopher hole, and then you go down and you go clunk again and you're up to your knee because that gopher hole is on top of another freaking gopher hole.
Yep. I think we have too many cats. We have too many cats for that here. There's tons of cats. Some are stray, some are...
But it also has a lot to do with the kind of soil you have.
Yeah.
I'm on alluvial soil.
We just don't have them.
Does Freddie not like eating gophers? Oh.
Well, Freddie doesn't go outside.
Oh.
Mice come in the house and Freddie nails them.
We have tons of outdoor cats in this neighborhood.
Well, I have one that lives here. I don't see it very often, but there is one that lives on the property. I watch Freddie. Every once in a while I'll go out and I see Freddie in it and sending psychic messages to each other. But there are too many predators here to let Freddie outside. I mean, what with the coyotes and the bobcats and the ferrets and the skunks and the raccoons and coyotes have been seen not far away.
The cats seem to get along with the skunks quite well. That doesn't seem to be a problem.
Yeah, but sometimes the skunks eat cats too. But yeah, you're right. I've seen skunks. I've seen skunks. Our skunks are fucking huge. I've seen skunks and cats lined up at the cat feeders. People put. There are actually a bunch of pictures. This happens in San Francisco a lot. People will go out to feed the cats outside, and they look outside and hear the skunks and cats all lined up eating together. They seem to have an agreement.
So.
All right.
Okay.